Then.
Sorry if I was
Nice. Good introduction. That should be the introduction.
Hello, people of the internet. It's the Whogaming here. I was about to just say back with another video because that's I'm here with the first ever TCG community podcast. I'm joined by these wonderful fellows here, and we're gonna talk about podcasty TCG stuff. There we go. Yeah, that totally didn't fail whatsoever. Yeah. I just wanted to go on the record that on the cusp of a Category 5 hurricane, I still managed to get this podcast put together.
Whoop whoop, big up.
Okay, so I guess we'll just go around introducing ourselves in case there's people that don't know us that aren't quite here yet. But hey, people watching this later, might not know who I am, who you guys are, But everybody obviously knows who I am because I'm famous, so everybody knows who I am.
I'm apparently famous.
All right, so we'll start off with me, and then I guess we can. Who do you want to go in any specific order, or because we're gonna need to decide an order for answering the questions anyway.
No, not first.
I always enjoy coming last.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm Whogaming, or you can call me Josh. I am the evil mastermind behind Quest TCG. Yeah. That's about all there is to me. I'm a blank slate aside from that. No, but yeah, Quest TCG is probably what most people on my channel know me for. Unless you came from the previous era of my channel that doesn't exist anymore and nobody will ever know about.
Dark secrets.
I totally didn't used to make Minecraft videos or something. I don't know what you're talking about.
For real?
Yeah, when I was in middle school, I made Minecraft videos, and I would get all into it. I would do role play videos. I would use one of my most popular videos ever, and this got over I think this got over 30,000 views, and it was
jealous.
It was a Digimon mod for Minecraft that I don't even know if it still exists anymore, but it was a roleplay series for that, and it was the first part, and then I never made a second part ever. That was amazing. All right, moving on.
Do you want to go first, Mark?
No. Go ahead. Take the stage.
Take the stage, eh? Right, well.
I've just put you full screen just so you know.
Cool. Alright guys, so I'm pretty sure you're all aware, well I hope you're all aware. With me today of course is Whogaming and Martin Cardsathome, myself Chris. And obviously I'm the creator of Wrathofcores. Of course when Whogaming started to announce this whole live stream thing, we were, you couldn't say no to it really. And as far as this whole hurricane business in Florida is going, it's something really big part of the TCG community on the fact that we're still going ahead with this. Anyway, so yeah, a bit more about Wrathofcores. I've not long recently released the second and final part of my first set, and the channel itself is nearing a year old already, which it really doesn't feel like. Personally, a bit about myself. I don't know, I work lots of hours to afford stuff. I'm a big fan of coffee, as you can see. I've got a big ass mug that's the size of my hand.
What does it say on it?
Jeez.
Fart machine.
Fart machine. That's totally what I would want written on all of my coffee mugs.
That used to be my nickname when I was new.
I probably spend about, I don't know, with working that about an hour a day, just drawing random stuff. So like you can see, I've just started drawing stuff, random bits before the live stream.
Sneak peek. A sneak peek there.
Yeah, sneak peek.
Yeah. I don't know which way to hold it because my camera can. Yeah.
Ooh.
Very.
Yo, I'm liking the crystals. That's cool.
Yeah.
So they're going to be for a set way in advance. I've literally made like 2 cards or something like that. So yeah, I shall now pass the microphone over to Martin from Cardsathome.
Oh, pressure. God damn.
Push.
And you are now full screen as well, so.
Embarrassment. Yo, what's up, people? It's Martin here from Cardsathome. I'm hoping you guys know me by now. I mean, if you don't, hi. And I make card games just like the fellow guys here, Josh and also Chris. I work on Resolution Breakers, but I got a whole bunch of ideas coming ahead. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I'm working on Resolution Breakers currently at the moment. I've got the first booster set that just came out, and I've been going for 2 years, coming up with a 2-year anniversary special that should be coming out this weekend, and I'm hoping you're going to enjoy it. Not really much else to it. A bit about me, I suppose I can say. I've been playing card games ever since I was like 7 years old, and I'm an old fart now. So got a lot of experience in me, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And I used to be called Fart Machine when I was young. I don't know what else to say.
All right, you guys sort of already went into the first question there, but that just makes me, you guys started talking about, I didn't really say much about myself, which I was like, oh, okay, well, so we're going to talk about our personal TCG projects, and Quest TCG has Quest TCG celebrated its first birthday back in June, I think is the 1 year anniversary of when I posted the first video, but the first card that I ever finished was in May of 2016, yeah. And it's
just trying to figure out maths here. So.
Yeah, it's been one heck of a journey, the whole way, and I think that Quest has probably been one of the most fun things I've ever done with my free time. There's there's a lot of ways I've wasted my free time over the years, and this is probably one of the most fun. Those of you that don't know, I don't do the game just by myself. I have an artist, my friend Vivian, who can't be here today, sadly, because lots of reasons, but
yeah, shout.
It's kind of a hurricane coming. That's one of them.
I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, in case
you didn't notice, but she does most of the art for the game, and then I sort of finalize it in Photoshop. And I remember the first time I ever got her to draw something. The heck? That was not in my room. I thought
someone was whistling, calling me. Like, what's up?
That's somebody's phone going off, but can't be mine.
I mean, if that's my phone, my phone's dead. So.
Oh my god, it's a Facebook message. I swear if it's Vivian, and she's like, I could sense you talking about me. But what was I saying?
You're going on about your Quest TCG.
Oh yeah. So like I was saying, one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done with my spare time, and oh yeah, I was saying that I can remember the exact moment that I convinced Vivian to help me make this card game. I went up to her and I was like, hey, I want to make a card game. You're now my art slave. And she's like, okay.
Damn.
That was the end of the story.
that actually sounds like it could be the start of a story, to be honest.
Oh, it was, yeah. But we've had a lot of fun working on the game over the years. We released set 1. That is my phone. Like, this is a new phone. It's temporary because this one got destroyed. This is my favorite phone I've ever had because it has a ruby case. Don't judge me. I'm
still sitting on the Galaxy S3 Mini, so.
This is an S3 right here, but I have this is the S5. It's the screen's broken, but it would cost $180 to fix it. And I'm like, nope, that's not happening. For the same amount of money, I could buy an S7 or something. Right, that's way off topic. Back to what I was saying.
Yeah. Roll it back.
Roll it right on back. Yeah. But I remember that I gave her this like little slip of paper. Words, how do they work, man? And I was like, hey, design a card template for me. And she's like, okay, why not? And in case you guys don't know what card templates look like, I actually have some Quest cards sitting next to me, just like that, sort of. I think it's reversed though in the stream, but
I mean, for us it might not be, but I think it's just reversed for our point of view. I'm not entirely sure.
I'm not entirely sure how Hangouts works. But yeah, and it's just been a joy the entire way. We did finish up set 1 a few months ago, which was really exciting to do since it took us like a year. It was longer than a year, and yeah, it was only a 60 card set. So that just goes to show how lazy I am. Yeah, so we're actually working on finishing up the first 2 starter decks right now. If you've seen on my channel, I have 2 update videos about the 2 archetypes. Make it up. What more is there really to say? We're gonna start work on set 2 pretty soon, which is exciting. And I've also decided, I don't know if I've said this in the Discord, but we've decided to start naming all of our sets after ancient epics. So
Yeah, I remember that.
Set 2 is gonna be called Dante's Inferno. Based on that name, you can probably guess what the bulk of the set is gonna be made up of. But in case you don't know what Dante's Inferno is, I'm not gonna say what it is because that would spoil it. I think it'll be really fun though. All right, I've rambled on enough. Does anybody have anything else they want to say about their card games? Or what
I was just gonna say, how do you know Dante's Inferno from that PS3 game that came out ages ago? So
just do a quick Google search. It's gonna be fun.
all right, I'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that we're totally professional with this because we aren't
Totally
stumbling.
professional.
We're not stumbling over words or anything, you know. So, I guess we can move on to the next question. I think that'll be fun. Unless anybody else has anything else they want to say. Anybody?
I'm all good.
All right. So the next question is about how we got into making TCGs. Does anybody want to start us off with this, or?
Seeing as though I started before Martin last time, I think it's provocative for him to go before me this time.
Put in the spot. Okay. I should have like a little spotlight here, just like
Exactly.
over the top of my head.
You're full screen.
Okay.
That's close enough.
How did I get into making TCGs? I mean, when I was young, my sister brought back. She went overseas, over to the US, and she picked up a deck of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And this is back when I was like 7 years old, and
Excuse me if you can hear the yelling in the background.
it wasn't me.
Oh man. Just so you know, you might hear that a bit. My family doesn't know how to communicate without yelling at each other.
It's cool. It's cool.
Not any more slaves, I hope.
That completely knocked me off. What was I talking about? So I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
7 years old. Memory. Okay. And my sister brought me back a Joey deck. Like Joey was the first deck I ever got with the red eyes and all that stuff. And ever since I got that, and like the Yu-Gi-Oh wasn't even out over in the UK at that point. So it was like I had this trading card game that nobody had, and I was showing off to everybody in my school and all this stuff. And ever since then, I just collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards was a massive thing to me.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just imagining like, oh, I just got this new card game that's not even out here anywhere. Who am I gonna play with?
That's the thing. It was only me and my brother had the cards, so I would go to I would go to school and I would show them off to people who were like, oh yeah, look what I have, yeah, and they would just be like, we don't know what the hell these are, man. Like, well done.
Okay, sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just gonna say that when I like Yu-Gi-Oh, when I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, which it was the first card game I ever played, it was already a pretty big deal around you know in the U.S. So I can actually remember that my neighbor was the first person to ever give me cards to play with. He was not a nice person. I'll just say that right now. Like he may have given me cards, but he was one of those guys that would like play for cards. Like if
I remember that.
But this was back in the day when I didn't know the rules to the game. He knew that I didn't know the rules to the game, so he would cheat like non-stop.
Yeah, this was back then when people would like summon Blackluster Soldier straight away to the field, and like nobody even knew what a ritual monster was. They just summoned it to the field.
Nobody even knew what tribute summoning was.
Remember? Yeah, no one knew nothing really. No one even knew how to activate a spell card. Like
There were people that didn't even know you could only summon once per turn. Like
Yeah,
It was because of in the anime, I think. Didn't Kaiba like summon out 3 blue eyes in one turn or something with no tributes, and he just like boom blue eyes,
Yeah.
boom blue eyes, boom blue eyes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much been the reason why I got into trading card games, was because Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really planned to make my own trading card game. Spoilers for anybody if they want to go onto my channel, just giving you a little plug. If you go onto my channel over the weekend when I have my little 2-year special coming up, I cover this quite a lot in that video where I talk about how I get into trading card games and stuff. And but yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh has been a massive part of my life. It's like been the biggest inspiration. It's been with me ever since I was 8 years old or 7 years old, all the way till I was 20 years old. So that has been like the biggest thing to me in like trading card games ever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so let's move on. Let's move on to Chris. Let's see what you got.
Right.
Got any stories to weave for us?
Well, I actually started, the very first game I got into was Magic back in the day. There was a place in Manchester, and me and my brother would used to go there. It was in like a big giant shopping centre, and they would sell all of your commons for like 10p each, and your commons 50p each, and your...
Sorry, just dying over here.
And God forbid.
All right, I'm
When
good.
you don't know the actual game itself, we thought, oh, this is good, and then obviously we found out that they're only worth about 40 and 20p each or something like that. But back in when I was back in school, that's when I first basically got into the card game, and it was basically just before like when Yu-Gi-Oh came out, because I distinctly remember as I was leaving school,
Oh man.
Yu-Gi-Oh was taking over kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we actually had this little club in high school, and obviously you would go there and play against other people. And then there was that unfortunate day when I was just walking across the yard in school, and I don't know what happened, but there was a load of like magic cards on the floor, and like just scattered and blowing around in the wind. And I was just a bit like, it was like something out of like a game show where you're trying to go around grabbing the cards, and everyone around me was like, "What the shit's he doing?" And obviously,
That reminds me of have you guys ever seen Crystal Maze?
yeah, that's what
At the end, when you have to like grab all the notes and stuff in the crystal ball thing, that's what that reminds me of.
That reminds me of a story that my friend keeps telling, used to tell me back in middle school. At the elementary school they went to, he had like these Pokemon cards and stuff, and he would take them to school every day, and he would just take like somebody would just, I can't remember exactly how the story went, but somebody went and like just took them out of his hands and just threw them up in the air. And like everybody in the playground just went around trying to catch them out of the sky, because I guess he had some like really rare ones or something. I don't remember, but that's just what came to mind when you said that.
You evil bastard. Anyway, so yeah, basically, I've known Magic for quite a few years, and then about a year ago, actually, it's just a bit more than a year ago, me and my brother were going to like some tournaments, do you know, where you can actually win prizes and that.
Yeah.
And
I've never been good enough to go to one of those, but you know.
What were the prizes?
I think the deck I took was only about 300, 200 pounds or something like that. And everyone, I don't know, it's weird because, not to sound like a salty bitch or anything, but
that's what somebody says right before they sound like a salty.
Because like it was very rare that I would actually win a game, but I just wanted to go for the competition. And then it came to a point where you were just playing against, where you knew what kind of decks you were playing against over and over again, because you've got like a meta in the game and stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I started looking at the game, I started thinking to myself, how would I personally make a game better than Magic the Gathering? And I don't actually think
your goal was literally just to one-up Magic the Gathering?
Send in for Magic the Gathering. Damn. Chris just saying like, Magic the Gathering, you got nothing on me, bitch.
Exactly. I mean, that's what everybody should strive for, let's be honest.
So it came to a point where I was looking too, I suppose you could say, too technically into the game itself. Like what I didn't like was I had creature card, but you could equip an unlimited number of weapons onto a said creature, or and so on and so forth. So I tried to take magic as a concept, and then I tried to skin it down and then put my own turn on it. So, like for example, units can only have one weapon equipped, which kind of makes it a little bit more realistic. A wonder of the world is a bit like an enchantment in Magic. So my wonders, you can only have one wonder out at a time. The number of terrains you can have out in play at a time, you can only have 6 terrains in your core, whereas in Magic you can have like an unlimited number of supplies.
Yeah.
Try to trim it down and try and make it a balanced game without trying to make anything overpowered. And I think the power got to my head when I created the Angel of Purity, because it's a monster of a card.
Which is there in the background.
Yeah,
Big up my fan art.
Yeah.
My only experience with playing Magic the Gathering is when my sister's husband, but it was her boyfriend at the time, kept trying to get me into the game, and he would give me these really expensive decks, and I would have no idea how to use them. I would be like, I don't know the rules, dude. But I eventually learned, and I got pretty good at it. I never really did like competitive Magic. I played a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. I still occasionally do whenever I get the spare second, or the spare $300 to buy a decent Yu-Gi-Oh team. I'm actually, speaking of which one of these is this one here that I was showing you guys before stream? That's actually my new Raid Raptor deck that I'm trying to build.
Raid Raptors. Black Wings all day.
Yeah. The deck used to be $400 until they reprinted the main engine of the deck. All right, sorry for going off on a tangent.
I think I just almost swallowed my tongue.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much how I got into making my own TCG. Just basically trying to like you said, one up Magic the Gathering. I mean, it's probably never going to be, but you've got your aspirations.
You gotta
keep thinking about it.
You gotta dream big, man.
Yeah.
So
head over to Josh.
All right.
Here we go. Now.
So I haven't made TCGs nearly as long as these amazing people here.
Hey.
I've been making TCGs and really just Quest TCG for just like I said, just over a year. What inspired me to do it was all of the TCG YouTubers that are out there.
Thanks, man.
Mostly like people like TCG Striker and Cardsathome. I'm referring to you in the third person here because I'm talking to the people here. And of course Chaos Galaxy. I think a lot of people, at least in some ways, were inspired by him because he got really popular really pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah. So a lot of people take a certain level of inspiration from the way he does things. But Chaos Galaxy was probably one of the biggest inspirations. I started with, I think the first TCG YouTuber I ever watched was TCG Striker. And then I just sort of stumbled onto Chaos Galaxy. That's so underwhelming because nobody just stumbles onto Chaos Galaxy, but that's just how it happened.
I mean, back then when people were just starting out, Chaos Galaxy wasn't as massive as he is now.
Massive now, but
all credit is where it's due. He's done a good job.
And when I watched every single one of his videos. I still do, to be perfectly honest. But I watch a lot more TCG YouTubers now, though, so that kind of equals it out. I'm not as much of a crazy fanboy as anymore. But I remember the first time that I ever realized that I wanted to make a TCG was when I watched his how to make professional trading cards video, and I was just like, wow, I could do this, man. I could actually do this. And the first iteration of a Quest card was like step by step, just right out of his tutorial. I don't have it here anymore, I don't think, But first of all, the card never made it into the game at all, and the template was just so bad. Oh god! But the card was actually like supposed to be a worm character that was like an Elvis impersonator. If that doesn't sound like an amazing idea right there.
Wait. What's that? Alvin the Earthworm, isn't it?
Huh?
I just got a thought about Alvin the Earthworm. I think that's what he's called, Alvin the Earthworm. Something like that. Never mind. Anyway.
But yeah, that's really how I got into making games. I did when I was really young, like in elementary school, I dabbled with making games, but not specifically card games. I made an occasional card game, but I used to make these like big paper board games, you know? Like and nobody knew the rules, and I usually just made them up as I went along. Like that was how I did things. But I think I still have one of them up in the attic because I think I did one of them for like a school project or something. I don't remember. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have an elaborate story like these guys do. But
Wait.
yeah, so that's my story. As for the next question, well, this one's sort of relative. If any of us have been keeping up with what's been going on in the TCG community, I haven't really had time because dealing with hurricanes, that takes up a large portion of your time. Does anybody know?
I would be surprised.
Does anybody know of anything that's going on, in the TCG community?
Let me just load up my YouTube page.
I mean, to be fair, like back in the day, all you really need to do was just jump onto TCG News' channel.
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly, and that's what it was.
You would see everything that's been going on. Well, not everything that's going on, but new people that come about.
Does anybody know why he's like sort of stopped making videos recently? Like,
I think it could be to do with because I remember I had a second channel and it was like pretty much showcasing everybody else's other games and stuff. I tried to give people a bit more publicity and whatnot.
I remember that, yeah.
And then like it just suddenly got terminated. Like I wasn't allowed to post videos on it no more, and it was just like because I had copyrighted strikes on the.
How long of clips did you like use from other people's videos? I don't see why that would.
No, I wasn't even making any money from this channel, so,
yeah, so it was like
it just got terminated. I'm just like, oh, okay. Back to just making my own card game.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, I was trying to help people, but
yeah.
I mean, but
no.
All right, since we're all extremely unknowledgeable in what's going on, we'll move on to the next.
Like, there's always new people jumping into the community.
And that's probably one of the most amazing parts about this community is that you could look at it one day and then the next day it's like completely different landscape. Like there's new games every day that you haven't ever seen before, and there's a lot of originality in a bunch of these games, and I'm just like, wow, you guys are way better at this than me.
I think Prime Productions got a competition live.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? I think Vivian was talking about she wants to do something for that, so I think Quest might be throwing their hat into the ring with that. So
I was also planning to jump in. Wait, what was that? Give us a little sneak peek competition. Let's go.
You really want to see my intro?
Yes.
Hang on, let me see if I can find the right picture.
Just building up this tension here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yo, it's pretty cool. Is it? It's like a...
He said it. Hang on, I don't know which way. I don't. It's really weird. No, it's
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just click on my own.
It's a little bit blurry on my screen, but the flame effect looks really cool. That is so cool.
He said he was. He said obviously he's not got any like trap cards and stuff. I guess that's a term from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
And I didn't know whether to actually have like. Let's just see if we can get it up again. Like what direction this flame is actually traveling in. So like if it's a trap card, then like the hands have basically caught like an action card in a box kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe like a counter spell, or maybe it's something coming out of a box.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna.
All I gotta say is like, you should always stick to your coloring pencils. You know that, like, you're much better at coloring pencils than.
Yeah, I don't mind.
That is amazing.
So yeah, I was just gonna scan this into my computer and delete the white background and just put like a blue background or something.
Yeah.
Do that editing magic.
You know,
like,
I haven't completely decided because there's a lot of people, a lot of games just use the plain backgrounds. And I go the I like to add contrast to my images by by putting the realistic backgrounds in front of the cartoony images. That's kind of the style that I developed. But I really like the way that a lot of people do with the blank backgrounds, because even though it feels like it's when you hear it, it sounds like it should take away from the image because there's nothing adding to it. It actually, in a lot of cases, I think makes it look better than if you were to put a background.
See, I prefer the backgrounds. I was going to actually ask you when I was looking at your cards for Quest TCG, did you take the pictures in the backgrounds? Were they pictures you took yourself?
I think a few of them were, but most of them I just got off like Google Images, and I was just like, okay, make sure this isn't copyrighted, and then just like put it in the back of the card.
Technically, you did take them yourself, then, really, you know.
Yeah, I took them myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, you could say that, but
what they don't know don't hurt them.
Yeah, what they don't know don't hurt them. All right. So now we're gonna move on to sort of the first question that has to deal with the actual theme of this podcast. I think
wait, hold on. Actually, sorry, but we can instead of the news, we can do like something like seems though we're all a bit not really that great with the news of the community. We can just be like, what TCG have we seen recently that's caught our attention or something?
Oh yeah, that's cool. We can do that. So does anybody want to start with that?
I mean, I was throwing it out there, you know, just passing it on.
Well, I think today actually, Arcanum has actually uploaded a Tribe Strike pack.
Yeah, he did. I watched that.
I was watching that video as soon as I got home from work. Basically, the YouTube notification came through while I was in work. And last month, I absolutely rinsed my mobile data because I was just watching basically everyone's YouTube videos on my phone. I had to basically postpone it until I got home and got on Wi-Fi. But yeah, I was. He had done some unpacking of Tribe Strike's game. Yeah. And I actually put a comment on. Let me just see if I can get the video going. Saying that the design in Tribe Strike, it's very simple. It's interesting, but it's it's not too simplified, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's not just a normal card template like what I see a lot of when you see a lot of newer creators in the TCG comp. And their cards, especially when they do them by hand, they're very basic. They use a lot of square shapes and stuff like that. But then this one, the actual layout of the cards, it looked a little. It wasn't overdoing it, but it wasn't too simple, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and now that you bring that up, the template things, that's actually something I don't know about you guys, but that was something that I really took into consideration when coming up with the design for the layout, because I was like, I don't want it to be simple, so I went up to Vivian and I was like, okay, I want you to design this, but I know what I want. Basically, I wanted the towers going up the side, and I wanted the banner, and then I wanted I wanted the one side to be the description and one side to be the damage and health, and she could do whatever she wanted with that basic premise. But I knew that I didn't want it to be basic. I didn't want it to be just because I'd been through that with the tutorial that I got from Chaos Galaxy, and trust me, it did not suit our art style. Let's just say that.
I think that's the good thing about your card game is the fact that it has a really good set theme. So where you have the pillars and stuff, it suits the theme of your game, where it's all about building castles and building a fortress and whatnot. So that's the reason why it really works well with your game. So there's nothing you can really go wrong with that.
The boosters to Quest. Let's see if we can get it up. I've just conveniently got one to hand. When I looked at it, when you get it out of the packaging, it feels quite 3D to the eye. With the two, when you got the two the towers going down the side. I'm trying to. The camera's quite high up, so I've got to put a lot of arm energy into this, the weaker arm. But it's different. It's different in a weird kind of way, and it's nothing bad at all. But it feels like this central bit here is actually pushed back into towers, I can get it up. So when I first unpacked these from Game Crafter, it does kind of look like you're looking from the front of a castle towards a castle. It sounds really weird, but like I don't know how it is. I don't know if it's my eyes or if it's like a bit of a shadow on the side.
That is actually something that I took into consideration when I was designing it. I wanted it to be visually interesting. I didn't want it to be. I'm still not 100% sold that I did a good job. I feel like there's some more stuff I could have done. Especially now as I'm designing the packaging for the starter decks. I feel like because the starter decks are basically the same front as the packs, but with a different image inside. And I'm like, that doesn't feel very original. It feels like, it feels lazy because it feels like I'm taking what I already have and just reusing it. So I'm brainstorming on ways to make it look better. But I think what you're talking about there, that is something that I took into consideration. I wanted there to be a certain level of separation. Though I think it comes out a lot better on the new packs because they're a lot. I don't know if you guys have noticed. They're like a lot glossier, right? It's not just me.
Yeah. The production is so much better. I'm not gonna lie about that. The production is so much better. I do prefer the old booster wraps, but the production of everything that they're doing now is so much better than it used to be.
Well, I've not actually tried. I do have some booster packs coming for my game with the whole new wrap thing, and I've not actually had any boosters from from any TCGs. I'll be honest, since this new booster wrap came into play. However, the card itself, let's take this box for example. The actual card is different to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Much different.
The actual boosters, from what I've seen on YouTube, who was it now? Somebody uploaded a video onto YouTube. I'll see if I can find it real quick. And I think it was 2 packs of Resolution Breakers and 1 pack of Wrathofcores. The packaging actually looked like box. I think Martin's mentioned this once before, but the packaging for boosters actually look more like mini boxes now rather than actual packs.
That actually brings me to another thing I wanted to say, and this one I think it might just be my mind playing tricks on me, but these are 2 cards, one from the newer packs and one from the older packs, and I swear there's a visible difference, and I didn't change any settings. There's like this one here, Tiny Turtle here, is so much shinier and it has a different texture to it. It almost feels
so much more.
It feels almost thicker too. Like I don't know if that's just me, if I'm just crazy, but I love the new the cards that come with the new packs a lot more.
Because I have my old, like when I first printed Resolution Breakers on Game Crafter, and like it didn't get that many sales, so I took it down and I tried to improve the game. And I still have those, and then I now have my new stuff. So I'm like, it's so different. It's 100 times different.
And I mean, that reminds me. I wanted to check something on the Game Crafter.
I think the only thing
by the way, is anybody watching the keeping watch of the stream right now? Because
no.
I was trying to find it on YouTube. I can't find it.
We could have like people commenting.
Yeah, because I'm like, I've got it here and it says there's 0 people watching, but there were a lot of people that seemed really excited to come. So I don't know if I'm just I can't see it from this viewer here because I'm on the actual.
I'm on your channel now, and
I
can't say anything about anything live streaming.
It doesn't say you're live streaming.
That's not good. It says I'm live right here. it says I'm live right here. I can show you, but that's.
I mean, I just posted a video onto the channel telling everybody to jump on over to the podcast. So.
Yeah, like this. It says live stream health is healthy. It says I'm live.
Well.
Can you find it? Like.
I can't find it. Usually, if you view someone's channel when they're live streaming, their main video on their channel is replaced with what you're live streaming.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so I'm gonna try stop. I don't want to stop the stream because then that's gonna.
The only thing I can do is, if you want me to see if I can like tether it onto mine and see if I can screen record at the same time. At least it's recording then. At least it's streaming then.
It's I can try to stop streaming and then restart it. See if that works.
Are you recording this or are you just streaming?
It's recording too.
Hmm. And what are you using?
So, I mean, I guess
I've got
if
a live feed. I've got a live feed right here, so I don't know.
There's nothing coming up.
Am I stupid? Am I stupid?
Oh, you've not-
God,
Sky
I'm
up.
so dumb. I'm
You've
so
not
dumb.
clicked the finger,
I'm
have you?
so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm painfully dumb.
Have you forgot to click go live?
No, I forgot to set it to public.
Oh, so you've been private this whole time. So we've just been sitting in a private live stream, chatting away.
You guys can make sure to tell everybody that it's my fault. Make sure.
I mean, if we was to set it to public
Well-
now, then surely.
It's on public now.
At least we've recorded this bit.
So yeah, like. So if people are jumping into it now, like. We've done a whole intro
sorry,
bit.
we did a
Oh my
whole-
days.
we've gone through
Oh
3
man,
questions.
hey, I'm gonna attribute it to being the first time that first time I've ever streamed to YouTube. Second of all, first podcast ever. So yeah, shut up. don't.
We've only crossed 2 questions.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot to put it on public. Man, how much of a facepalm moment can you get?
Boom,
Well,
boom.
you guys, man. I mean,
Well,
there's always.
that was interesting.
We can
Let
just
me
keep
check
going.
it's
Keep
live.
going
Let me
strong.
check it's
We're
live.
gonna keep the ball rolling.
Does anyone even remember
hiccup.
where the ball was?
Huh?
Does anyone even remember where the ball was rolling to start with?
Let's see. We were talking about news in the TCG community, weren't we?
We was talking about the layout of your cards, I believe.
Yeah, something along those lines. I was wondering we were streaming for 44 minutes. And there was nobody in the stream.
Yeah, it was like I thought we was popular, we were famous. Like,
We're just stupid.
Yeah, you're live.
Well, I am. You guys aren't. I'm just stupid. Oh man. All right. Well, let's just move on to the next thing, and then we can pretend this never happened.
just,
All right.
just keep on going, and then no one
All
has
right.
to know.
So, yeah. The next question is something that I think everybody faces at every so often. It's a lack of motivation. How do you deal with a lack of motivation?
Boy.
So I kind of want to start this question off.
Go for
Because, a lack of motivation is something that everybody faces in the TCG community. I think even when you get to you talk about extremely famous TCGs like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, people who are designing it, I feel like they definitely get a lack of motivation every once in a while. Like, it's something that happens to everybody, especially when you're making a lot of cards, very often, and you sort of burn yourself out and you feel like, oh, why am I doing this, and that's something that I feel very often when I'm working on Quest. How I deal with it personally, is I usually just power through it, but if it gets to the point where I feel like crap and I feel like I can't do it, I'm like, why did any people watch my videos? My game sucks. I shouldn't keep doing this. Just take a step back. That's what I always say. Just take a step back, look at it objectively. Just like, okay, take a step back, maybe do something else. I start doodling these random things. These are some doodles that I've done just to sort of get my mind off of.
Sneak peek for a new trading card game.
I'm actually that maybe don't tell. Shush. But so that's what I do. I just like to take a chill pill, just stand back, and I just jeez. Yeah, we have somebody in the chat now, so they're like,
What's up?
yeah.
I don't know who you are. I can't
Yeah,
see who you are. So what's up?
Oh man, yeah. In case you weren't here for the bit where I was face palming, yeah, I accidentally forgot to press public on the stream after we were doing the test.
We're live streaming noobs, okay? Yeah.
Well, hey, every mistake is one step closer to doing it right.
I have to put down a t-shirt.
So where was I at? Yeah, just take a step back, take a chill pill, watch anime. That usually gets me motivated. Or yeah, just doodle stuff. That's what I do. I doodle stuff, and then I write. I write when I can't. That's one of the things that I actually do very often. Like other stuff, I was sort of mostly joking with the watching anime and all that. But one of the most serious tips I can give you is if you feel unmotivated about something, write a story for it. Then it feels so much more important to you. Like I actually have. I doubt anybody really cares or wants to hear it. I actually have the entire origin story for the Bionoids, just on a text file, a text and an audio file on my desktop.
An audio file, you.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I recorded it. Yeah, it's a long story though. Like, jeez. And I wrote it in Notepad for some reason because I'm just an idiot. But yeah, it was bad. I don't know why I wrote it. But hey, it made me feel more motivated to finish the archetype. So, yeah, that's what I would recommend. Just write. That's how I do it. Anybody who wants to go next?
I mean, like you pretty much covered quite a lot of it there. I mean, unless Chris wants to say anything, you know.
So how to deal with lack of motivation? It's I don't know. It's a weird one.
Weirdest was just like Notepad makes whatever you're writing feel way more important.
That's true, actually. That is very true. You feel like you're smart and sophisticated.
Yeah, it feels like you're taking notes. Like you have something to take notes about. You're like, yeah, I'm important. I gotta write notes.
Yeah.
I tried using Microsoft Word the other day, and the license expired, so I had to use WordPad.
I'm too broke for Microsoft Word.
Yeah, I got the entire Microsoft Office set because I'm just cool.
I'm just gonna leave this live stream now, you know.
I'm gonna do another subtle brag here. I'm actually Microsoft Office certified, so haha. No, but
you found a picture down here and then printed it.
Screenshot that. Just print off your own one. Boom. Hey, TCG art and other random things this year. What is up? Oh, jeez. I actually minimized that. So yeah, sorry we interrupted you a little bit there, Chris. Do you want to continue?
No, that's all right. So yeah, basically, like what I normally do is if I can't basically be asked or be bothered with a game, sounds so bad, but it's like
so true.
Yeah, obviously exactly. Taking a break for me about a 4 to 5 day break. You know, I've got work to do as well, and that takes my mind off it a lot. So I don't really feel like I feel the whole lack of motivation thing as much as a lot of other people. Because obviously I've got to spend 10 hours a day making money. So when I come home from work, I get about 2 hours to myself. And then the ideas themselves just come from listening to music or playing like a different game, and then very slyly sneaking them into my game.
As you can see from the backdrop,
subtle stealing everything. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a song which I listen to. It's on my Spotify list, and it always comes on when I'm coming home from work. And I know the part of the song exactly, and it's given me a really good idea for a card name, and given the way, basically it's to do with fire, because I like to draw fire. Drawing the fire is probably like one of the strongest points.
I mean, we saw that earlier. Just saying.
Yeah, we Oh, but nobody was here for that. Remember?
Oh, I mean, we saw nothing.
We saw nothing. Yeah.
No, nobody saw any spoilers.
Yeah, see that. You see, I kept it on private intentionally so we wouldn't spoil that. That was
clever.
Yeah, the whole introduction and the 3 questions we did beforehand, that was all private.
Yeah, that was all. No, yeah, that was totally fake, totally fabricated. Never meant to see the light of day. I totally didn't spend like 3 hours coming up with all these questions.
So yeah, basically it's just relax for a bit, take a day or 2 off, just listen to music, play a few games, and then eventually, regardless of whether you get bored of the next game you're playing or if something pops into your head while playing a game, I will eventually come around to sitting down and just drawing random stuff. Taking names from song lyrics and likes.
Something you said there, I can't remember what, but it reminded me of something that I forgot to say. Another thing that demotivates me personally is, or it can at least, is how long it takes to complete cards. Often for me, because it isn't just me. I have Vivian drawing out the artwork, and then I finalize it. So it takes her just about hour and a half to finish up a sketch, and then send it to me. Then it takes me, depending on how complicated the sketch, an hour to, I think, well, more like 45 minutes to, I think the longest one I ever had to do was 2.5 hours. So, and that one,
I feel you on that one.
I don't know if it's been in a video yet. I don't think it has. It's called Helios the Blazing Steed. It's sort of a beast version of Helios the Solar Warrior. That one it's covered in flames, and that took me absolutely forever. But it's probably one of my favorite pieces of art in Quest 2. Then I got this picture off of Google that was just like a wheat field on fire and put it behind it. It was so glorious. I love it. If you look, I think didn't Akasha CCG take down a lot of their videos?
Yeah, it pretty much like deleted all of their videos apart from their introduction video. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I don't know why, but they had a video where they won, my design a card contest and got a pack. They actually got it in there, but if that video isn't up anymore, so you wouldn't be able to see it. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite artworks.
I'm pretty sure the last video he made was something like, I'm not going to be leaving anytime soon. I'm going to be reworking over my card game. And then like a week later, he just deletes all the videos. You're like, oh. Okay.
But yeah. So that's what I have to. That's what we have to say about motivation. Is there anything else anybody wants to add for that?
I mean, what else can I really say about that? Like, I guess motivation works for so many. It works differently for everybody. Like for me, what motivates me is just the fact that you just need to, like what Josh said, like you need to take a step back and you need to look things over and think about why you're making this card game. Like that's what you really need to think about is you're the one making this card game. Like what are you?
What's up? Hey, what's up?
Man, talking about ruining the moment, right?
all these noises in the background just keep on cutting me out.
Oh man. Yeah. So to move on to the next question, because I think this is something that tends to lead to a lack of motivation pretty often. Is how to deal with a lack of recognition. Now, I don't think anybody truly goes into this expecting to, get hundreds of thousands of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views like overnight. But what people making these games? Yeah, I totally did expect that going right in. I expected next day, boom, millions of subscribers. But no, usually you don't expect that. But there's this lingering feeling in the back of your mind, well, like, wow, what if this game gets really popular and there's tons of people that want to play it? And there can be a slight bit of disappointment when you start off really small and there aren't very many people watching it. And I think that people really need to, I should probably put myself full screen while I'm ranting here. But I think that it's really important that when people feel that way, you need to know, like, you need to work through it. You need to keep going, pushing forward. And slowly but surely you will gain the recognition you deserve if you work at it and you try really hard to make your game the best it can be. That's really all I have to say on the subject. Anybody else?
Yeah, it kind of it ties in again with the motivation stuff. You just need to. I'm just waiting for another belch just to come involved into while I'm speaking. But yeah, you just need to you need to just understand that you've come into making this TCG for yourself. It's the whole reason why you came into this. You need to just go back, think of why you came into this TCG. If you came into making the TCG simply for the fact that you saw someone else doing it on YouTube, that's great and everything. Like that's the reason why I came into YouTube and started doing trading card games. But that's not enough, To get recognized, you need to at least first recognize yourself and know what you can do yourself. So like you just need to get making yourself better. And don't worry too much about the numbers. The numbers will come. The numbers won't come. That's not the major problem.
Exactly. I agree completely with that.
it is a tricky subject about dealing with a lack of recognition. But what's probably even worse is if you've ever used the YouTube Studio app, and it basically comes up with like all diagnostics on your channel. Basically, your views, how many minutes.
Oh yeah. Those ones hurt a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
There's so much data on it, but one thing which is actually quite curious, I'll see if we can get it up on my phone now. It's actually got a chart, and it's got your recent subscriber change.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if we can find it. Because basically you get all these stats, so you can see it all focused on.
I think it just lagged for a bit there, so yeah, okay.
Basically you get all these like graphs and charts and stuff.
Yeah.
But then one thing, I think that might be actually that purple one.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm running
that's
over
just
my
subscribers, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And anything above the line is a gain in subscribers. Anything below it is a loss of subscribers.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, when you see stuff like that, like in, you know, at one point I've got more a loss of subscribers than like a gain of subscribers.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do. It's like, is it something you've said in a video, or you know, if you changed something too much, or
like,
you know, you don't know what you've done.
Especially when like you're making a trading card game like us, because we don't change anytime soon. You know, we're still putting out the same stuff.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
somebody came up to our channel, pressed that subscribe, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I like this guy," and then a few couple of months later, just like, oh, "Fuck this guy."
Oh, they just realize how toxic you are, and then just leave. That's how it is.
Ouch. Ouch.
No, I've actually dealt with that rather recently. I don't know if you guys like keep up with my subscriber count or anything. I'm actually getting really close to 500 subscribers, which is exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting and also kind of terrifying. Like why 500 people would watch my content.
Yeah, fair enough. I know that feeling.
But there's been sort of a lot of fluctuation rather recently where I was, I think 1 week I lost like almost 20 subscribers and didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my god, what have I done wrong? What do I need to change? Who hates me? What's happening? And then within the next week, I'm like, oh, I'm back to normal. Okay. And it's sort of like my mood can sometimes fluctuate depending on how my subscriber count is doing. And I think it comes from the fact that, you know, you like, I think there's a certain pleasure to be taken out of people enjoying your game and people wanting to play your game. It's like nobody really just plays a game or makes a game and not expect it to be played. That's kind of the entire point of it.
Like that. There's a lot of people that'll be like, oh, I came into making this trading card game all just for myself. I mean, yeah, that's all well and good though. But like, let's be honest, everybody came into YouTube to make a trading card game for everybody else to play and like enjoy.
Exactly.
Right?
That's just how it works. Like, you not expect per se, but you want people to play the game. That's why you make it.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of the whole point. And so you can, when your subscriber count fluctuates like that, you're like, okay, what have I done wrong? Why do people not want to play the game? Why do people not want to see the game? And then it goes back up, and you're like, okay, what was that? You know, and you're just like, there's a lot of fluctuation that can get. Probably YouTube getting rid of a bunch of bots.
I mean, speaking of,
they found out I've been botting my channel. Dang it.
Shit.
It's what we was talking about when we weren't recording, you know. Just saying.
Yeah, when we were totally intentionally on private, definitely on.
Yeah. But speaking of the fluctuations, like, the thing I've learned most about YouTube is once you start a YouTube channel, that's when you just start noticing things so much more. Like, you get so paranoid about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're sitting there constantly 24/7 at your YouTube channel, just like,
I know, right? Especially
people ain't watching this, people ain't doing that, and then it's crazy.
I worry if no one follows, or if you have no followers, no one will be buying. I think that's what that says. Yeah, that's like exactly like if you feel like there's nobody that's interested in your game, and it's this sort of like freak out moment, like, oh my god, what have I done? What is life?
Because like because now that I'm doing daily uploads, well, I'm trying my best. I think I'm like day 7
I mean,
now.
hey, I've watched every video you've uploaded, so
Yeah.
I mean,
I know,
you got
like
one.
shout out to you guys, man. Of course, like you guys always be there. So, but it's just like ever since I've been doing daily uploads, I've got the least amount of attention in my channel than I've got 2 years ago. It's kind of bad. When you think about things like that, I'm trying my best to
Yeah.
like try and push my channel back up there, but I'm getting the least amount of attention that I've ever got. Just
I don't mean to interrupt you, but Weir's just posted or just commented. He has so few that he seems to check it daily. Even if you lose one, it's like, aw, you know. And that reminds me like very much of when I was first starting out. And you get like when you're first starting out, you don't have very many viewers. So
No,
when you get subscribers, you're like, oh my god. When you lose subscribers, you're like, oh my god. But it's like it's so nerve wracking when you're first starting out. Because I remember when I first started out. Or at least when I first started out with my card game, I posted 2 videos and then went on vacation. So it was this really stressful thing. I was like, oh my god, people haven't seen much of it. Once I get back, nobody's going to care. And every day while I was on this vacation, I was stressing myself to death going down to this, because we were in like some campground in Nashville. And I went down to the sort of head the front of the place, whatever you call that place. It had a gift shop in it, I don't know, and it had Wi-Fi there. That's what I cared about. And I kept checking YouTube, and I was like, oh my god, who is anybody commenting? Is anybody doing anything? And I mean, I respond to, I still do. I still respond to every single comment that I get that is respondable. You know.
yeah.
And I do my very best to do that. But back then, I was just like frantic about it. I was like, if I don't do it in the next 10 minutes, if I don't do it like 10 minutes after they post it, they're gonna hate me.
Yeah.
And you
I
get
feel that definitely.
You get those sort of feelings. You get really, you need to like. That's what I learned after time. You just need to learn to chill out about it. You know.
Yeah.
You don't
need to relax.
You need to relax. You need to. It's. After all, it is a hobby. It is like a lot of people do it for jobs, but it is a hobby. You know, first and foremost. So you know, it's something you should enjoy doing. So, like freaking yourself out to death does not constitute enjoyment. I know from experience.
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. But
welcome Flow Games. What's your favorite song? Does anybody have a favorite song they want to tell?
Sup Flow Games. He's the guy with the hand as the picture for his. Yeah. That's it. Sup Flow Games. Favorite song.
Favorite song.
I'm Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Da.
I have a bunch of favorite songs depending on what like sort of genre of music you're talking about. And it tends to vary like day to day.
I don't think I really even have like a actual genre I listen to. I mean, I have a personal song, but it's a bit mushy for my answer. So anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. So which one was that? Was still lack of recognition. So everybody, we already put in their 2 cents on that, right? I don't want to miss
I mean, I was just gonna quickly say like it's the same with you. When I first made my first video, I didn't even have a single card made for Resolution Breakers yet. I had 2 little rough versions, and I somehow dragged that video out for like 10 minutes long. Just me going, yeah, this is that.
Hey, Asura Kuma, welcome.
Sup, Kumar?
I'm not Asura. I don't know if you'd roll the R. I think you'd roll the R.
Asura Kuma. Hey.
Asura Kumar. Yeah.
Asura Kuma.
Let's go.
But yeah, continue. Sorry.
I don't even. Yeah. What was that? Yeah, I was like drag this video on for like 10 minutes long, just going on about how this is my game. Yeah. My game is this and that. This game. Yeah, check me out. And then like, and here I am now, 2 years later. So it's kind of crazy to look back on that.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of my first Quest video. It was I think the video was called The First 8 Cards or something like that. No, it was Introduction and Zones, but I think I changed the name of it. I think the original name of it was The First 8 Cards. Why 8? I don't know. I did the first 2 videos were on sets of 8 cards that I had made. Why 8? World may never know.
I mean, you had more than I did, so.
Yeah. So I had these original cards. I printed on cardstock, and then I didn't have laminate. Like I don't have a laminator. I didn't have a laminator or anything. So I just like used like clear tape. And it was amazing. But and yeah, that's what it was. And I just talked for like 20 minutes on 8 cards. Okay. And I remember being so excited, or like so excited to film it, but then if you watch it, I sound so like monotone and boring.
Yeah, I sounded so depressed in my earlier videos, man. I sounded like I wanted to like just
Has this just turned into embarrassing us now? Like we're just
like
embarrassing
we're just slowly just mocking ourselves a little bit.
exactly.
It's still cool. But yeah, just to keep this a little bit PG-13, I swear in my old videos I actually sound like I wanted to kill myself. Like it sounded like if you didn't subscribe to me, I would have died.
I gotta watch your first video now. Just to...
I swear in that video I'm just like, yeah, what's up YouTube? This is my game.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it up.
Yeah, like I think when I was first starting off, I didn't. I'm not gonna say I didn't have the same fire to make the game or the fire about the game, but I didn't know how to show people that I was excited about it. If that makes any sense. Since it doesn't seem like many TCG makers mention or use Tabletop Simulator, what are you guys' thoughts on it? I love Tabletop Simulator. It's an extremely good way to test games, and it's amazing.
I had a project that was involved with Tabletop Simulator, but you know it might still happen someday.
Yeah, it might still happen. Asura Kuma. I want to say Kura for some reason. I think I know of a character from an anime that has a name like that, but that's probably why. It says I sound like I want to end myself in my video too. Oh, that's amazing.
Please don't.
Don't end yourself. Nobody, guys. Suicide is almost never the answer.
Damn. What
if that's Crisis Core that's on the game character. I feel like that because I have to try and be super. Oh, you feel like that you have. I don't know what that because there is throwing you off. I feel like that because I have to try to be super quiet. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's another reason why I was so quiet in my old videos, because like I couldn't ever get privacy to do my videos, and I always had to record at like maybe.
Absolutely not.
I had to record them at like 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be like right next to the camera's microphone. I'll be like, "Yeah, what's up, YouTube? How you doing?"
Like when I made the first video, when I made the first card, even I didn't have this computer here in my room. I had no desktop computer in my room. I had to do it out in the dining room area, which is where we have our other computer. And that computer's a piece of garbage. I'll just say that right now. But it was not fun. Because, first of all, at the time, my sister was living with us, and she brought her birds. I don't even remember what they were called, like what kind of birds they were. But she had 2 of them, and they never shut up. Ever. But, yeah. So, every video that I made, you could hear bird chirping in it. Even once I got this computer, the birds were still here, and you could hear it in my videos. From here. And it's like a good 20 to 30 feet somewhere in that general.
Would the birds be chirping or singing your tunes?
Boom! Yeah, that's the thing. You know, they're not very good. They're not very good singers. If they were trying to sing, they're not very good.
Maybe they were trying to swoon you. It's kind of creepy. I don't know why I said that.
All right, so let's move on to the next question. We've been sort of rambling for a while. The next question is sort of tips to increase community interaction. Now,
Competitions.
Yeah, competitions. That's it.
Competitions everywhere.
Like I feel like, especially when you're first starting off, there's a lot of things like people don't generally, like when you're first starting out, comment as much. I don't think. Maybe that was just my experience, but I don't know if you guys had the same experience, but like people seem to not ever comment very much. I think my first 2 videos only ever got like 2 comments on them ever. I got a lot more comments as time went on, but like starting off, it's hard to get people to want to talk. If that makes any sense.
In my early videos, I used to get people commenting, and that would be like the only one time they would comment on my video, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I love your stuff. I'm supporting you and your game. I'm subscribing," and then that's it. I'll never see them comment again.
I this funny comment on one of my videos where the guy said, he's like, oh, he goes around to like 3 different videos, like, oh my gosh, guys, you got to support this guy's TCG, it's amazing. And then he's like, okay, I'm going to buy some packs. And he did buy packs. And then he said he was going to open them in a video, and then he just never did for some reason. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Because I told him, if you do, tell me, because I'm going to watch it. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure Martin's been in that scenario before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh. that hurt so much.
It's just like...
Two of my trout decks I sent off to someone.
It was a competition, wasn't it? Didn't you give something away, Martin?
Yeah. I got 2 of my trout decks shipped to my house, and then I tried to give them away for a competition. I sent them off to the guy's address, and then he just kept telling me that they never arrived. So I was just like, oh, well.
Oh, hey, Lear says they have a pack of Resolution Breakers coming. So, boom.
Boop, boop. Big up.
You guys should just go all buy packs of Quest, man. You should just come on.
Yeah, buy our stuff in it. Yeah.
You know you want to.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey,
we need the money. We're poor.
Hey, think about it this way: Quest Set 1 only has it's only 60 cards. Imagine how easy it would be to collect them all. Come on.
Mine's only 80 cards, and it's got those fancy looking break rares. Yeah, they looking nice.
I talked about this back when we were still on private, but I want to bring it up now that there are actually people here. So with Quest, if anybody cares, maybe we finished Set 1 a few months ago. That's out. It's amazing. It's been awesome to see like people buy it but never open it in videos. I don't know. Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Sometimes I'll just I'll say something and then my mind will just be like, what were you going to say next? But, yeah, we're finishing up the first 2 starter decks, which is really exciting. Vivian just has to finish up the 2 castles for the starter decks, which is funny because in Set 1, one of the only things, I didn't do very much in Set 1 in terms of, doing the artwork all by myself. I just, Vivian sketched it, I finished it, that was sort of the formula we had going. And then I did a few all by myself. But the only ones, the major project for Set 1 that I did by myself was the castles. And now for the starter decks, I've drawn everything by myself in the starter decks, aside from the castles. So it's like we switched. But yeah, that's funny, not funny. But yeah. So that's really exciting. And then I wanted to talk about Set 2 since I guess I could make my own video for it, but that sounds like work.
Nah, I might as well just plug it in,
Yeah, might as well plug it in the podcast. Set 2 is going to be... We've already started it. We've already got sketches ready for me to finalize, but I'm lazy. And it's... We've decided that every set moving forward is going to be named after an ancient epic. So Set 2 is going to be Dante's Inferno, and anybody...
I was going to guess what it was called. Just to try and trick them and fool them.
Yeah, because you've never heard
of it. It's the first time I've heard about it.
The first time you've ever heard about it. Yeah, but it's going to be called Dante's Inferno, and those of you who are knowledgeable on ancient epics will probably know what kind of cards will be in it just by the name. Those of you that don't, gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be really fun. It's also going to be 120 cards, so it's double the length of Set 1. Which means everything is doubled. The amount of commons is doubled. Wait, so set 2 is going to have as many commons as there were total cards in Set 1.
That's a lot of commons.
And it's going to... That means everything's going to be doubled. Which also means that there might be double the winners of this next designer card competition. Who knows? Maybe.
Sneak peek.
Who knows? What were we even talking about? What was the question?
Question was
something to do with
how did we do
increase community? That was it.
Yeah, we're still on how to increase.
Yeah, that's it.
How did I get to that? This is still going so overboard. Okay. Does anybody else have anything to weigh in on how to increase community interaction?
Yeah, I had one a while back, when we were saying sometimes it can be quite tricky to get people to actually interact with you, unless you're massively, as big as the likes of Chaos. Yeah. But obviously I'm nowhere near his figures. But
none of us are.
That's why I kind of paused for a minute just to like wallow in my own despair.
Oh, maybe someday, man. Maybe someday.
Join together, we're just as strong. That was really
yeah,
cliche.
Not
Anyway,
quite. Not even. If you combine all of our subs, we'd still wouldn't match.
we'd be like his little fingernail or something. Like that.
Hey, maybe if we can score him for the next podcast. Who knows? You know, maybe.
just saying, you know.
Imagine how many people would show up to the podcast if we scored Chaos Galaxy.
Tell us right now, all you watching, if you'd like to see a Chaos Galaxy appear in the next podcast.
Yeah, that would definitely be awesome.
You better damn show up.
He has expressed interest.
Yeah, he has,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe he'll watch this podcast and realize, no, I don't want to be part of that.
Oh, this shit. Anyway, back on the
The actual topic. Because
Because
none of
Go
us know
roll the ball
how
back
to,
again.
because none of us know how to stay on topic.
A couple of months back, I did a live stream myself. I think a few of you remembered. And I was doing like drawing and designing cards and competitions and that. But because I had so much stuff to give away, and I left the giveaways till so late in the video, there was so much chatter in the live chat, and basically because it was just because I was giving stuff away for free, and it was so active.
Mm-hmm.
Like it came to a point where I only had about 2 hours worth of video left, but I still had like 10 prizes to give away. So it kind of turned into something like out of a circus freak where I was just like bloody literally throwing shit into a crowd.
And I was there too.
And it's like the chat was just going crazy. And then like, obviously there was one person he was with us. I don't think he's in the TCG community anymore. Hopefully I've not scared him off. But he was on that live stream. I think it was about 5 or 6 hours long, and he had been watching the video since the beginning, and he was commenting. And then obviously he didn't win a single prize, and he entered every single one. And I did kind of feel bad for him because
Man, if it makes anybody feel any better, I have never won a giveaway ever before in my entire life for anything ever. So, and I enter so many, it's like absurd.
But that's also the same with me, to be honest. There was this when I was doing that giveaway that we talked about, that where it got lost. There was a bunch of people that started subscribing to my channel just because of this giveaway that I was doing. I was like, yeah, here's these free decks. Like, all you have to do is be subscribed to my channel and say down below that you want these cards. And then like tons of people were just like, yeah, I want these cards, I want these cards. All these people I've never seen before, and they're like, oh yeah, I've just subscribed, give me these cards. And then they never comment again. I'm just like, oh, did I I guess I really offended all of them. So
and they just all disappear when the prizes aren't after the prizes have all gone and been handed out.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy just entering. I enjoy watching people's videos, so entering is sort of just a plus for me. So, I mean, I kind of upset. Like, I kind of get the certain level of, disdain for people who only show up for giveaways. Because it's like, you're only there to get free stuff. And then you leave afterwards if you don't win. It's like, okay, well, why were you entering to begin with? It's like...
Yeah.
One thing I really hate as well is when you get arrogant people. As soon as you announce like a prize or something like that, and you always get someone who is so blunt, they don't show any interest in like any competition. They just want the item, that whether you've got a competition given away or people have got to work, say you've got an art competition, and then there's always someone in the comments who they just say, "Give it to me," or something like that, and it's a bit like, no, you've kind of got to work for it. Don't be such a friggin' lazy snub.
Yeah, it's like, okay.
The most polite way of saying it. But, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Did it just lag for you? I think it lagged for me. Just there. I'm not sure if it's my internet or not. I've just got to ask. My bad.
So, I think that's enough of that question. Let's move on to the... I'm not going to say this is the next one because it's actually a few forward. But
there was something I was gonna say quickly there.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's the same with the commenting. It's another thing that it boosts community spirit and also community spirit. and it also boosts a little bit of if you want to get like recognition a little bit more. It goes back to the old question. Like if you want to get recognition from people that you admire, like be involved in their card game. You know, if you if you jump onto their channel, don't just like leave a comment saying, "Oh yeah, you're cool. Look at my channel." It's like
that actually is pretty funny because I'm going to tell you the story. So when I was first starting out, you know, like I think I'd made my first 2 videos, but I was a huge fan of TCG Striker, you know, and I was just like, oh my god, this he was like, I had him up on this pedestal. I'm like, oh, I'll never be that good. And he had like, I think he was celebrating his 400 sub special. He's down 500 subs now. I think he did that really recently, which is awesome. And congrats to him. That was awesome. But
yeah, big shout out to him, man.
Yeah. But I was just, I thought he was just this, I was like, oh, this is this goal I'm never going to reach. He's just this awesome dude that makes this awesome game. And then, you know, after I've done this for a while, I was just on Discord yesterday, we were just having a conversation just about absolutely nothing. And it was hilarious. And
yeah.
It's just to think that like, I was down here and I was like, oh man, looking up at this guy. But the way that you get there to, you know, sort of being peers, you know, being on the same level as the people that you sort of look up to when you first start out, is by being active. I entered every single one of his competitions. I commented on almost every video, you know, just being generally a good subscriber, and you know, and that's how you sort of get to that position, because that, you know, sort of worked to get, you know, name recognition and that sort of thing. That's definitely, if that's something that you're striving for, like you want, you know, to have that kind of like, oh, I want like that senpai notice me sort of feeling. But that's how you get it. So yeah.
Because like this wouldn't even be happening right now if like we didn't interact with each other in front of all.
Okay.
Well, that was tumbleweed.
That was weird because it lagged for me, but then I wasn't sure if it was still lagging or if you just weren't saying anything.
oh, okay, yeah, because it keeps freezing on my screen. I think it's just my laptop is a little bit banged out.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So are you guys ready to move on to the next question now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So next question. It's not the next question, but we're skipping ahead a little bit. We'll go back. I just wanted to talk about this one. This is something that I think a lot of people face. The question, oh, I'm not good at art. Can I still make a game? Like, is not having amazing artistic ability sort of disqualify you from making a game? Short answer, no, it doesn't. Long answer, we'll be here for 3 years. So who wants to start?
I think as long as you've got a good mechanic in your game, something different, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It won't be a problem, should I say. I mean, I know my game is awfully similar to, like, I can't remember if it was on live stream when we mentioned it, but it's got its similarities to Magic.
Yeah.
But I don't even know.
Asura Kuma says, "Notice me, Martin Kun."
But what was the question again? I'm not good at make a game.
Don't worry.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, the actual mechanics in the game. Sorry, I think I've got short-term memory loss.
I think we all struggle from that a little bit.
Concept, in your game, you know, and it's not a copy of like another game, which is obviously mass-produced. I think that's where I was going before I bloody lost me bastard memory.
That actually relates really well into another question we have here. If you wanna try taking that one up while you're at it. It's how much is too much to take from another game? Like how much mechanics and stuff like that is too much.
Well, the one thing I don't think you want to do is obviously make a direct clone of a game, because you're just not going to get anywhere. Especially with the price of a game crafter, the likes. You know, you want to spend.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this just made me fun. This made me chuckle a little bit. Weir said, "My game is a Magic ripoff." End thought there.
We had this discussion earlier on.
Discussion? What discussion? I don't remember this discussion.
I don't remember this discussion at all. I don't think it happened.
So how much can you take from another game? I think you can take elements of games.
I know that I see from a lot of people. Sorry to interrupt you. This is sort of where I was going with when I was thinking of the question. There's a lot of people, especially people who are new to making card games, that don't. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. When people are just starting out, they're gonna make copies of games they already know, but you need to make your game original. It needs to have its own original elements, and just sticking with, I see a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh clones from people who are making their card games. It's okay to use certain card types from Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's much better if you just establish your own card types and just establish your own mechanics. Plus, it's probably one of the most fun aspects of TCG making, at least to me. I think that's one of the most fun aspects of it. Is figuring out how all of the cards interact with each other and everything.
Well, I thought so. Because obviously I've grown up playing Magic, and I've never really bothered with the likes of Yu-Gi-Oh and how exactly it plays. But like when I first saw the likes of Resolution Breakers, yeah. I've always basically played games where you need some kind of like mana or a cost of a card. Nearly, I'd say about 90% of games I've seen online or played, you've got some kind of payment to play a card. Whereas from what I can gather of Resolution Breakers, obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but it's you can just play cards straight from your hand, I believe.
Yeah.
And you can just basically draw into your hand and find basically a card out of your hand and just play it straight down. That was something completely different to me. It's a different way of playing the game.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
That's something that I like to take inspiration from when designing games. Like there's certain levels of things that I think you can take inspiration from. For example, Quest TCG on the surface, all the mechanics seem, they're similar to other games, but they have their own unique flair for the most part. I have, where do you think the idea for 5 placement zones came from? Because there's 5 monster card zones in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5 castle zones comes from the 5 spell and trap zones. But I'd like to use things like that, but do something different with them. Like instead of having spell and trap card zones where you place, spells and stuff like that, because my game doesn't really even have spells anyway. Well, we have sorcery, so basically it's the same thing. I just don't like people to think it's the same thing, even though it is. Then they just got it off.
Just got the name spell and just like rubbed it out. Sorcery.
Exactly. That's how it's done. Also, if anybody's wondering why I'm looking in this direction, I have 2 monitors.
Show off.
That's the way you were looking at it.
Yeah, it kind of works though, because like when somebody else is talking, it looks like I'm looking at them and listening intently. But then when I'm talking, it's like really weird.
I think we need to start turning this way while we're talking to you now. What's up?
Exactly. But even the barricade zones in Quest were inspired by defense position in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like that's what it is. Said sort of different. But I implemented them in a way that was original. I tried not to do the same thing that you see in every other game. And another thing, like what you were saying with Resolution Breakers and and not having like a set cost per se sort of thing. I like to do that with Quest, even though there is sort of a limitation to what you can play in Quest. I have you can only play cards equivalent to the amount of castles you have, and that's sort of how I balance that. But other than that, if you have a full field of castles, if you have 5 castles out, you can play 5 things from your hand. But that's sort of, I felt like a lot of games where you have costs, just, I don't know, it seems like it's like an artificial way to slow games down in a lot of ways, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was just about to say.
Yeah,
I guess that's the whole reason why I left Resolution Breakers the way it was. It's like it's not the best system to have like no cost at all, because it definitely turns out to be very one-handed and one-sided a lot. But when like with cost systems, that all it really does is just slows the game down a lot more.
But turn the light on here, sorry.
I always believe that like a cost system in a card game, all it really does is just limits yourself more than actually limits the play of the game.
Yeah.
Because you have to play it all around that limitation within your
Yeah,
game. If you don't have those limitations, you can have the freedom to do whatever you want with your game.
Yeah, like I think the way Yu-Gi-Oh sort of does it, you know, I'm gonna keep coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh because that's the card game I played for the majority of my life.
Pick up Yu-Gi-Oh.
I mean, I did play Magic, but Magic is sort of like a meh. I never played Pokemon, like the card game. I still barely even know how to play the game. But with the way Yu-Gi-Oh does it with tribute summoning and, you know, fusion summoning and all these different, they add a new summoning like every time a new anime airs.
That's what I mean. That's the only way they can like really
Okay.
go something new is by breaking their own system.
Exactly. I still don't get why they haven't just made an anime like a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist that just focuses around ritual summoning. Like
that would be really cool, actually. I thought
like,
that was going to be the next
thing. That's what one of the most common theories for the newest season was, that it was going to be all about ritual summoning, and then they added in whatever this new thing is. I don't even know.
The thing is, what I don't get is with every single like new system that they add into the game, when you think about it realistically, they could just make a whole entire new trading card game revolved around this summoning system.
Like, I think Yu-Gi-Oh was probably its most fun when it was tribute summoning, fusion summoning, maybe into synchro summoning, but that required math, so I never liked it.
Fair enough.
But I think some of the most cool monsters in the game are synchro monsters. All right, back to our games, or you know what I mean. But yeah, how like there are things that you can take from other games and still have an original concept. Yu-Gi-Oh boys.
Pick up Yu-Gi-Oh. Whoop, whoop.
But there are certain levels of things that you can take from other games and still keep it original. But you just have to know how much is too much. And I think to the point where when you get to the point that almost everything in your game is exactly the same as another game, you may have gone a bit too far.
I think the when you realize the point where you've got too much is when you have like a card called Magician Black, Magician Dark, Red Eyes Orange Dragon. That's when you know you've gone a bit too far. Okay.
Am I the only one that like? I did this for Magic too, even though I didn't play it as much. But I loved making fake cards and.
Oh yeah, all day. I used to make Yu-Gi-Oh cards all the time.
I took this I made this card. I don't remember what I called it, but the artwork for it was, if you know the card Red Eyes Zombie Dragon. If you know that card, it's pretty obscure. Pretty obscure, but that was the artwork. I didn't even know it was a real artwork. I just saw it like I thought it was like fan fiction or something, but I used that and I was like, nobody's gonna know that this is a different card and it's not a real one. And I'm like, ha! And it was made on like printer paper.
I like that was your young impression there. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was my young me impression. Yep. Right there. But it was. I used to do that all the time, and nobody like it. It took until like middle school when Yu-Gi-Oh started becoming a lot more serious. Cause I think middle school was when I think 5Ds came out. If I had to take a guess, because that's when when Synchro Summoning came out is when Yu-Gi-Oh started really getting serious. Because it was serious beforehand. They had tournaments and everything, but nothing was taken nearly as seriously until after Synchro came out.
Oh yeah, of course not.
I think Synchro like added this like. We're talking too much about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like,
yeah, man. We're supposed to be talking about homemade trading card games.
But yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh! Sucks. There you go. Back on topic.
Yeah, that game. Like Quest instead. But yeah, yeah. I think I've rambled enough about that kind of thing. Anybody else have anything else to add?
I think at the end of the day, there isn't really a too much that you can get inspiration for or inspired from another person's trading card game, unless if you are exactly copying it for word to word, picture to picture, effect to effect. Like it's always good to be inspired by someone. If you feel inspired by someone and you want to make something because of somebody else's work, go ahead and do it. Like I'm pretty sure they'll feel just as happy as you are designing something after their stuff. I would.
And so to move on to the next question, because this is another one that I think is a serious problem for people that make, when you've done it for a while and you've drawn out so much artwork, and it's artist block. Now we sort of touched on it when we were talking about lack of motivation, but when it comes to artist block, that's a whole different animal. It's like I've found myself like especially with these 2 starter decks, because I've been doing it all by myself for the most part. I've drawn. I drew each Bionoid probably 6 times before I was happy with the final result, because, and I'm still not happy with some of them, namely Serpent, I think is what his name is, or Snake or something. I don't remember. Don't even
That's
remember
good.
the names of my cards. I think it's Serpent. I'm like 95% sure it's Serpent, but I'm really not happy with Serpent. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But there's this certain level, like, you get to the point where you just feel like you can't draw anything anymore. Like, I don't know if that's like anybody else gets to that point where you're just like, I've drawn so much, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, it is Serpent. I had to actually check. But does anybody else get to that point, and how do you deal with it?
Yeah, well, I had a point where obviously the first part of in Cores, so you got GV, which is quite medievally themed, and after about drawing 5 units or something like that, I just couldn't think of anything, like any type of units to put in other than like soldiers.
Gets too repetitive.
Yeah, it gets too repetitive. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I feel that one.
I couldn't think, and that's why the second deck, the Darkness one, is kind of like a bit of a mishmash of just like creatures and units and that. Whereas the first deck is very, it's got that medieval theme to it. And then obviously when it comes to the boosters as well, you want to try and incorporate a bit of both decks into these boosters. And then I ended up having to go on YouTube, on Google, and just Googling up like medieval like units and
Guilty of that too.
old time things, just to get some like not inspiration as such, but just to jog my memory. What actually happened.
Oops, sorry. I just wanted to say that I actually did that a lot when I was drawing both the Bionoids and the Spectres, because they had these very distinctive designs. Like, the Bionoids are supposed to, in a lot of ways, look like the animal that they represent. That's kind of the whole point. And the Spectres, like, I knew pretty much from the start what I wanted each of them to look like. I just wasn't, sold on the order of them. But I knew what I wanted for each of them. I knew, like, how I wanted them designed. But I know specifically for this one I don't hate myself for not remembering the names, because I literally made them gibberish on purpose. Spectre Seal. Seal is the diver. He's one of those old schooly divey helmets, red thing. I remembered sort of what the helmet looked like. Was supposed to look like the diving helmet, but I had no idea. Like, and I remember I kept redrawing that thing like 20 times, and even once I had an image of it, I was just like, I cannot make this look right. And that can get you so frustrated. You're just like, I don't know what to do about this.
It comes to the point where you just like feel like snapping your pencil, just
exactly.
like just throw the paper, just fuck this.
Let me see if I can. Oh, I think I only have the finished versions here. If you guys
Spoilers.
I keep like touching myself and
guys, spoiler. Who knows what that could be?
I keep touching myself and I look like I'm some kind of like shifty drug dealer.
I'm trying to. For some reason, I drew all of the Spectres on cardstock instead of paper. Don't ask me why. I'm not sure.
I always draw on card now.
On card.
I'm trying to actually see if I can find the failed attempts at all of these things. Well, there's the finished one, but nobody cares about that. Yeah, I don't know why I drew him so big. I didn't do that for any of the other ones. He's just like this massive on this piece of paper. I don't know.
That's the problem I always face now. In every single picture I do, I always draw it too big.
Yeah, like,
I don't understand why.
But yeah, but more to artist block, like when you can't think of like an idea to draw, like especially with the Bionoids. The Spectres I sort of knew what I wanted when I went into it, but the Bionoids I was like, okay, they're gonna be robots based on animals. That's all I got. That's all I got. And then I made them, and that's the end of the story. But I remember having so much trouble. Like, Bat was the first one I ever drew, and it was actually an accidental doodle. I was just like, I'm just gonna draw it in class, drawing a little robot bat thing, and then it turned into a person. So I was like, oh, okay. Actually, funnily enough, it started off as a sketch of Batman. Specifically, was it Batman Beyond, the one with that took place in the future with a kid? I don't remember.
Oh, and he was in all a black suit.
Yeah.
It was just all black, and he was a weird looking suit. It wasn't a normal looking suit.
Yeah, because it was a different kid. It was.
Yeah, I remember I used to bang that show out. I used to watch it every single day, and I didn't even like Batman. Like.
But yeah, and when it came to drawing the other Bionoids, I had no idea what I was gonna do. I was just like, okay, I was stuck for like weeks trying to figure out what I was gonna do with that. The way that I would recommend sort of dealing with it is same thing for lack of motivation. Just take a step back, start drawing something else, just doodling, get the juices flowing, get your creative juices flowing, and just don't worry about it. It's just think to yourself, okay, it's gonna be fine. I'll just get myself going, and then I'll just go, okay, yeah.
Yeah, like, don't think about your card game too much. Like, if anything, work on something else, and at some point, like, ideas for your card game will slowly come to you. It's like artist block is something that all of us are obviously gonna struggle with at points, especially if you feel like you're not really good at drawing.
Yeah,
it definitely demotivates you to draw anything at all. But that shouldn't be the case. If you can't draw, just draw whatever you can, or get someone to draw for you if it really comes to that like point. But I don't really know.
I want to take the moment to welcome the Puffmeister to the stream. He's currently on break at work.
Puff Daddy, how's it going? I mean, Puffmeister. Why did I say that? Okay.
So welcome, and I hope you enjoy what you can see. I'm glad that you're wasting your break watching us for some reason. That's one way to waste your break. But yeah, you can continue now. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I think I was finished. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh, there we go. Finally. I always get this message on my laptop that comes up saying restart is required because your laptop's old as shit, basically.
So, anything else to add to the artist block discussion?
I mean, me myself, an artist block. I don't even know how I do come out of it. It's just there in the moment. If you draw, you just draw because you feel like drawing, really.
Yeah.
Because in my game, I didn't even start with any drawings at all. Like, I didn't even have no drawings planned for Resolution Breakers. When I started Resolution Breakers, that's when I first started drawing cards for the actual game. So it took a long while because I had loads of different clans within my game. You'd have like samurais, then you'd have like random police force, then you'd have these little furry bulls and all this stuff. So it always kind of kept me going a little bit because they're all different. But it comes to the point where it just gets really repetitive. That's
probably one of the things that I really like about Resolution Breakers. You got such drastically different factions. It's amazing. That's something I've always wanted to do with Quest. But with Quest, you have, and I think to a certain extent I've done that. You've got robots, you've got ghosts, and you've got anthropomorphized animals. But with the middle ages theme, it sort of limits what you can do. Which sort of segues pretty nicely into the next question. At what point at what point should you give up on one game and start another? And my answer to that would be when you don't enjoy it anymore, or two, you have no ideas for it anymore. Now, I wouldn't say just I've got some kind of I've got artist block. I must stop this game, right? No. When you struggle for like months and months and you still can't think of anything to add, that's the point where I think it might be time. You're like, okay, I'll just start something else. If I've completely run out of ideas for this and I don't enjoy doing it anymore, I'll just move on. That's the way I see it. What about you guys?
I mean, that's a perfectly rational way to look at it, to be honest. Like, if anything, everyone doesn't want to just give up with an idea or a creation that they've come up with all of themselves. But yeah, it's obviously hard to just say goodbye to one of your creations. I don't see how I'd be able to do it. But I guess it's different for me because I already have Resolution Breakers finished in my head. I've already got it planned all the way to like the ending block
I've
of where it is.
I've actually got like up to set 6 planned in my head for Quest for the kinds of stuff that I want.
I mean, I already have like a second season. I guess I could say that secondary season on towards the card game already planned ahead in the future. And this is I've only just got boosters at 1 out, so like people buy my cards and then you can see the rest of it.
but by the way, are you reading the chat? Because Asakuma has just posted something about the Psychic Mafia that I agree with.
Psychic Mafia is love. Psychic Mafia is life.
people do seem to like the Psychic Mafia, which
yeah, that's probably one of my favorites. That and I always forget how to pronounce it. The one that starts with E. I always forget how to pronounce it, and I don't want to embarrass myself today any more than I already have.
Dojo.
Yes,
like
them. I always think there's an N in there somewhere, and I don't know why. I always think there's like I always think it's like N Dojo, but that's not right?
That was actually what it was going to be to start with, but then like I thought it was like the most amazing creative name ever. It was like a mix between Edo period and Dojo, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds so cool. So I was like, I mean, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, it's okay. They're probably one of my favorite. Like I think they look the coolest to me at least. But I really like Psychic Mafia too. So we're still talking about so Chris, would you like to weigh in on the question?
Yeah, I think personally one thing which I suppose you could relate it to the question is to not try and I can't remember who I discussed it with a couple of days ago, but it's when people finish a game and then stop and then make a new one and then stop and make another new one and then stop and make a third new one and then continuously repeat it. Because personally, from my eyes, if someone's continuously like creating a new game after new game after new and then giving up on older games, it kind of, to me, I would personally lose interest in people who do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me in general, but like when there's just too much change.
Yeah, when it's that sort of feeling where it doesn't seem like they're devoted to it enough, like they're not putting enough, energy into working on it. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
Yes, definitely something for me to think about because that's something I was doing quite a lot. Just
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we only have a few questions left. I don't even know if we have much. Actually, that appears to wrap up everything that we had scheduled. So we have been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes, just about 2 hours, just about.
Is that with the extra missing footage?
Yeah, that's with the extra footage. the lost tapes of the first community podcast.
We want to ask anyone in the chat if they've got any questions. Maybe.
Okay, yeah. Those of you in the chat, if you have any questions for anybody on the, let's call it a panel here.
I feel so professional right now. I should be wearing a suit.
Yes. Ask your questions. Ask away.
Lovely.
I tried to hide that so well.
So yeah, ask your questions away. Yeah.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Yeah. Insert Edita's Joy-Con Boys jingle. Oh man.
Did we were we not live when we were going on about the question 2? We weren't live then, were we?
Question 2. Which one was that? Was that how we got into it?
No. What's happened recently in the TCG?
Yeah, what's happened recently? We were not live for that. No, we were not. Okay, wait. Yeah, we got a question.
Oh, there we go.
It says, which card was the hardest to draw? Oh gosh. And name it. The hardest to draw.
Hang on, I've got a thought. I'm going to sit
Okay,
back.
I can actually say this I can affirm this. The most difficult card to draw in the entirety of Quest Set 1 was Helios the Blazing Steed, which I don't think has actually been in a video yet, unless you watch Akasa CCG's channel back before they deleted all of their videos.
I'll keep watching his channel and you'll see it soon.
Yeah, you'll see it soon. That was definitely the most difficult thing to draw for me because it was just covered in flames. That took me 2.5 hours to draw, which is the longest time I've ever spent working on a single card. All right, who wants to go next?
I'm just trying to find the bloody card. I'm just trying to find the piece of art. I've recently made a folder and put all my artwork in it from GBE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it sad or is it impressive that I know like every single name for all my cards?
No.
I know the names of almost every card from set 1 of Quest, so almost. There's a few that I don't remember, but and I only had 60 cards, so so that's not really I still can't remember some of them, so don't worry too much.
Hardest card, I think, for me to draw was one of the main characters, Kira.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, that's a bit shit.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite artworks from Cores.
Man, that Rainus.
That one.
Yeah, she's probably one of my favorite artworks from Cores, to be perfectly honest.
Even though like she was, because like I was bloody when I first started, I was terrible at drawing like human-shaped figures.
Oh, we're getting a decent amount of questions too. Like we've got questions lining up too.
Even after drawing this one, I actually found the newer characters a lot easier to draw. Because like these ones I did full page artwork. So
oh man.
So that one, I don't know if it's because I was drawing in a bigger page, or I can't quite see my screen. So
yeah,
but these were actually a lot easier than.
I don't want to don't want to spoil anything for you, Chris, but I'm sitting here and I know all the story about these girls, so it's kind of mad for me.
Ooh. Maybe after the stream you guys should tell me because I'm not aware yet.
Man like Alexandre. Look.
That was when it went into going into Randomopolis, but I think passed down on this.
Man, I really love the artistic aesthetic of this game. Like I love it so much.
Yeah, like Chris, you do an amazing job of what you do.
I'm still working on building the deck, of course, because I only got one core, so I only really have one option to work with.
Yeah, it's a good one though, wasn't it? What you got?
Yeah, it was pretty good. So on to you, Martin. What do you think would be the most difficult card you've ever had to draw?
Oh, should I go pull the folder up? That's a good
I
shot.
mean, man, you guys are gonna make me feel like I have let these people down because I haven't showed them what.
It's cool. It's cool. You're the moderator here, so
you know
like.
You know what?
You can actually use
OBS. I think it's a common. I'm gonna add a screen cap just to show this off.
Doesn't even want left out.
And I'll show you the part. Like it doesn't look that complicated until you look at what I did with the flames. I'm really happy with it too.
Hold on, be right back. I'm just gonna grab my photo.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not? That's good enough. All right. This is. That's not even remotely what I asked you to. Good God. Okay. Why is it not showing this? This is so dumb.
I heard you, man, talking behind my back.
Let me see if I can get this working.
Got the wedge folder. Okay. Hardest to draw, man. That's a tough question.
I'm gonna keep working to get this visible for you guys to see, cause
yeah.
It's just a black square. It's just becoming a black square, and I don't know why.
And all the while, it's just me just sitting there on the live stream, looking down at my groin. This guy.
All right, you know what? I'm just gonna do a monitor capture.
Hardest to draw.
There's Helios the Blazing Steed. For those, I sort of passed it. There's Helios the Blazing Steed. For those of you who want to say the most difficult quest card for me to draw.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch the live stream now to see what you're on about.
Well, until Martin says he's ready, I'll just keep this up.
just gonna prolong it so people can stare at it a little bit longer.
Yeah. I love the background image I used for this. This is probably my favorite art in the entire game.
This may be the hardest one I have to.
Alright, I'm gonna delete this now because I can't see chat. So.
But it's or maybe that one. These ones are like cards that are coming in the future. Though.
Okay, wow. I'm just gonna answer this one real quick while you're going. It says, when are you gonna do podcast number 2? We are going to be doing hopefully weekly, depending on how this hurricane hits. Because in case you don't know, I live in Florida, and Hurricane Irma is coming right up the center. So it's going to depend on what kind of damage we can expect here, or what kind of winds, you know, that kind of stuff. So hopefully next week. Okay, there's so many questions.
Alright,
I did not expect this many questions. Okay.
This would probably be the most difficult one that I found I had to draw, was this dude, and he's not even in my game yet, so...
Oh my god, that is sweet.
It's very nice.
These are like... I just gave you spoilers. I've got all these spoilers in the back of my folder.
How long does it take you to finish these? Because you're also doing them like full page length too.
It's way too long. I have too much time on my hands. That's all I can say. I've been broke for so long. I got way too much time on my hands. What else can I show you?
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Asurakuma really appreciated that artwork. All right. So, do we want to move on to the next question that was asked?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have something else you want to show off?
Oh, no. These are like spoilers for later on in life.
Okay.
Just
the next question is, how many sets are you expecting from each of your games? For me, it really depends on how well people buy the sets and how well people seem to like them. I have up to 5 or 6 planned out in my head that I could go with. Then after that, I'd probably have to research some other ancient epics to name sets after. So how about you, Chris? How are you thinking about sets?
Future sets. I don't actually have a plan for how the number of future sets I've actually got. I kind of just wing it as it goes. But it does take me a damn long time to actually finish even just half of a set.
yeah,
Especially if you're lazy like me. It takes forever.
But like part 2 of GBE must have taken the best of about 3 or 4 months or something like that.
So how many cards are in your set altogether, do you think?
In the whole GBE?
Yeah.
It's about 172.
Ooh, jeez, man.
Wait, what? Excuse me?
172? That's insane.
And that took you what? You said that took you 3 to 4 months.
For half of it, he said. But that's still half of that would still be more than my
that's more than any
set that took an entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's set 1 came out in when was it now? I was actually looking at this the other day. My first YouTube video went up at the end of October last year, so I'm about 11 months in, almost a year. And then I think I released my first decks like early this year, and obviously it's come to a point where now we're in September.
Yeah, Flow Games is really impressed with that number of cards.
Yeah.
And I've only got like 2 halves of a set done.
So do you have any idea how many sets you'd like to do? Or do you think you'd be able to come up with ideas for? You make them all 172 cards?
Well, I've already got a theme in my mind for my next future sets, but it's not going to be for an extreme. It's going to be like another 4 or 5 months away. I'm still, I am actually still. I'm not working on GB Part 2 as in terms of artwork anymore, but I am still going to be uploading videos to do with the complete GBE.
That question. Sorry.
Because what I want to do is create like this card, this book, for example. It's got
Shout out for the notebooks. Always have
Yeah,
one
Man,
notebook
I
handy.
keep clicking
I'm
off.
trying to do
I
like
keep
deck
clicking out of
ideas.
Hangout.
I'm trying to do like deck ideas out for GVE, giant deck text or something like that. And it's
Yeah.
going to have obviously a list of all the cards I would put in it, and then like it's going to have like ratings for like how easy it is to understand the deck, how difficult it is to play, the variability in the deck, pardon me, the aggression in the deck, and like the power of the deck and stuff like that. So I want to try and make like this is just like a basic burn deck, and I'm going to try and like
Oh,
upload
burn
that.
decks.
Burn decks are jumping in your game. That's going to be.
But obviously, there's going to be some other
I
video.
hate burn decks, so you'll probably never see one in Quest for anything. I don't know how you would even do a burn deck in Quest. Like, because there's no
Well,
point
I
system.
only just had enough cards to make like a mono red burn deck in cause. Like, obviously, there was loads of cards I could put in, but obviously, it came to a point where I was starting to skimp on card names because you can only have 50 cards in a deck exactly. But the hardest deck, I think, for me to try and create to put up on YouTube is trying to use a deck which incorporates all colors, like every colored elements.
Oh, that would be yeah.
Oh man.
That'd be crazy.
Because
Yeah.
you can only have 6 terrain cards in your core, and they're the only cards that would generate your elements. There is a way you can do it, but if you know, like the Mage Sisters in GVE Part 2, each of the girls represent like an elemental property, and obviously there's a wonder in the game where if you've got all 5 of them sisters out in one, basically it turns them all pretty much indestructible. Because with the story of Cores and stuff, there is actually a story, like it's half-ish complete.
Oh man.
Which I've read a chapter of.
Just, I don't mean to interrupt you, but everybody is asking us to make this a weekly podcast.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it'd definitely be appreciated.
Without any privatization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without keeping it on private for the first 40 minutes.
But that's basically going to be the hardest type of deck to create, and especially to try and get up on YouTube, because, like I said, if you can get all 5 Mage Sisters out at the same time, and you've got this Wonder out, which doesn't cost anything to get out, you can just whack it straight out. Then it basically turns them all like near indestructible. And because of the story in core, I've tried to incorporate everything into the story, what I'm trying to put together. So there's even a lot of detail about like the Krillosians, which it'll basically they're like the cockroaches of
Yeah, they get bullied in this story. That's all I can say.
You know, if it was like a nuclear war in Wrathofcores, the Krillosians would probably still find a way to survive. Yeah, they're literally like cockroaches.
Man, you should make a nuclear themed archetype.
Oh,
That sounds like a good idea and would fit totally with the
it's a good shout out.
Or mutated Krillosians.
Oh wait, didn't you say in like I swear it was in your previous video or two videos ago, you said that the terrain cards are going to be getting more than one color, so they'll be generating 2 elements at the same time. Wouldn't that make things a little bit easier for like?
So at the moment you do have what we call split terrains, where the one you got in your booster pack, Martin, the other day, you got one in the booster pack which was a black and a red split terrain. Those ones in particular create one of the 2 colors, because across the bottom of the card, the number of elemental elements you actually see is how many that terrain creates. So obviously the special terrain you've got says it only creates 1, but it's one of 2 colors. Now there is actually, I don't think I've actually announced it yet in any
Sorry,
video.
stretch my neck there a little bit.
So I just had to
For anybody watching and wondering why I was just trying to snap my neck or something.
There is.
I feel left out. I didn't do anything. You snapped your neck. He burped. I just sat here looking at the screen.
There is, when it comes to like terrain cards which generate more than 1 element, there is actually a royalty rare terrain, which I don't actually think I've announced in Wrathofcores, and basically
Spoilers.
Yeah, it basically creates 2 elements of any color what you like. However,
Damn.
at the
Oh,
start of
jeez.
your turn, you've got to make one of 2 choices: either to lose 500 health of your core, or to destroy that terrain card. So it's one of them where obviously you can only have 2 different royalty rares in your deck at a time. So yeah, that would
Hey,
probably be a
if
massive
you had
help.
2 of them going at the same time as well, that'd be
Well,
pretty
with the
cool.
royalty rares, you can only have one of
Yeah.
Oh, I
up
thought
to
there
2
was okay.
different
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, if it
I
was
thought it
rare,
was like,
you would have had
but
2
you
of
can
them.
have 2 royal res in the deck, right?
Yeah,
But
you
as
can
long
have
as they're different.
yeah, you can have 2 royalty rares in a deck, but there have to be 2 different ones because of how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Whereas the rares, commons, and uncommons, you can have up to 2 of each one. But I think the closest way to getting that deck idea complete is to obviously have one of them royalty rare terrains and
Hey,
2 gem caves, which
I
basically
don't mean to interrupt you, but Flow Games was just posted to make an ice terrain.
yeah. Yeah, could probably like when the next set comes out in several, well, I don't know how long, half a year's time by the bloody judging it. I am hoping to try and change the artwork on the terrain cards as well, so that they try and match like the theme what we're going to fall into. Because at the moment they're just like a volcano. It's just a volcano. Do you know what I mean? It's just a random volcano. It's not got anything to do with like a medieval theme to GBE. It's just a random volcano. Same goes with lakes and stuff like that.
All right. So I don't mean to like stop you there, but we've been on the same question for like
Oh yeah, sorry, I just kind of get carried
yeah,
away.
and I think everybody does. Like when I start talking about Quest or when I start talking about anything really that I'm passionate about, I'll ramble for 3 years. Trust me, you don't want to get me started. So
Yeah, go on.
so Martin, if you want to continue for if you remember what the question is, how many sets you're expecting?
This guy and his bucks. um, if I mean, like I said, I've already got Resolution Breakers planned towards the end, so
Yeah.
like, I don't really know because I'd say I could probably, off the top of my head, maybe say 12, 13, maybe 14 sets for
Ooh,
Resolution
man.
Breakers. So like,
Jeez.
and then I also have Go Gauge working in the background. I have all these other card games, so
Yeah,
that's my only
I
problem.
really liked when have you posted more than one video on it? Because I think I only ever saw one.
I posted when I first introduced it, and then
Yeah.
I posted like a how to play the game just so I could show
Oh
you.
yeah, okay.
But I think it was just around the time because I
really
had the
liked
idea. So
of it. I really like the idea of it. I thought it was
it's
really
just
cool.
now that I've got Resolution Breakers done, well not done, but I've got the first set done. I can, if people want me to work on Go Gauge, if they liked it, I can try that. Because I've been trying to draw like art for Go Gauge and other different
Yeah.
trading card games, not just Resolution Breakers. But yeah, I could say I could probably pull out 14 sets of Resolution Breakers easy.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Just bragging a little bit here, my bad.
Okay, so to move on to the next question, let's see. Your favorite small TCG in the community. Who wants to start with that one?
Oh,
Small.
Man, there's a lot. There's a lot of really.
yeah, there's
small
so many to pick from.
Um,
I don't know if I could pick one.
I know it's a really tough one because I'm just trying to think of as many as I can.
Yeah, like I've seen a lot. Oh.
What
Have
happened?
you ever like you hit your funny bone on something but not hard enough for it to hurt so much, and it just sends like a vibration up your entire arm? That was really weird. Okay. Hey, man, I don't know if I could pick one. I feel like there's just so many good ones.
What do they mean by small TCG? Because like,
I think it means
what would be considered small? Anything underneath 100 or?
Yeah, I don't know what that would constitute, but there was one I saw recently, but I can't remember. I can't for the life of me remember the name of it. But I really like the concept of it.
Because I do have favorites. Like shout outs to Sora Cooper in the chat. Like Naga TCG is it's a nice game. It's a nice game, and it's a shame that he's not working on it a bit more than like now.
Well, I'm there now. It reconnected back.
Mm.
Oh, okay. Everything's cool.
OBS can only stream for like 2.5 hours or something before it crashes itself. And we're at 2:11, so it's like must have been like, all right, time to crash.
It's just like, God damn, you guys can talk for ages. What's wrong with you?
Exactly. So let's. Ooh, everything just lagged there. That was weird. Okay. This one I think is really interesting. Do you guys have any ideas for new games? And I actually maybe do. Let's see. I kind of stuffed it away up here now, but there is something that I don't know if people would really be all too interested in seeing yet, because they're not cards yet. They're just sort of concept sketches. But these guys here.
See, I told you there were spoilers from earlier.
It's a game called. I haven't quite decided on a name for it yet because I can't think of something that sounds good. They're
just to interrupt with that bit, like what you just said, because when you see a lot of people making TCGs on YouTube, that's one thing that usually annoys me quite a lot is the names that some people come up with their trading card games. Not to offend anybody, like not to say that it's bad, because like a lot of people would name their games like Card
Dave
People. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's just like Battle of Carding stuff.
Exactly.
It's just,
Thank you, Surakuma said that my drawings are sick. Sick good or sick as in the flu? That's less good. But yeah, just to talk a little bit on those things there. The game is basically the whole art style is very sketch based. That's kind of the whole aesthetic. And I want basically the entire idea of it is that the two players are sort of. Have you ever seen Chalk Zone? You guys remember Chalk Zone?
Chalk Zone. I think I remember the song.
Yeah, but the whole concept of it was that if they drew on a chalkboard with this magic chalk, that it would come to life, you know, in this like chalk zone as it's called. But basically, the whole idea is that these are drawings that are drawn by kids and that they come to life to battle. That's kind of the whole, sort of idea of it, because they're very like childlike. Like just take a cat and put armor on it. That's sort of the or Mecha Turtle.
Yeah, that one's good. I like that one.
It's got a giant cannon on its back. It's kind of hard to tell it's canon though, a little bit. Yeah, that's sort of the idea I've had for another TCG. Though it's very slow going, because I haven't really had time to work on it. But yeah, does anybody else have any ideas for other TCGs they'd like to work on?
I've not really. I have thought about something in the past. There was actually two. I think Martin mentioned something. There was a comment on a video about a week ago.
About a week ago. Why did I just say that?
Hey?
No, nothing.
Oh, you know what I just realized?
Hmm?
Because OBS cut out just a second there, that means I'm gonna have to actually edit these two clips together. That's gonna take a whole 2 seconds out of my day.
Just upload them on two different videos.
One's 2 hours 11 minutes, the other's 5 or something.
It just it entices people to come back for part 2. Just so you liked it, come back for more.
Exactly.
Two game ideas I did have, but obviously I thought about them. I tried writing rules down, and then I just kind of just fell back onto my main game. Really was they didn't even have names. One of them was like a space warfare tank game, and you would actually have you'd both have a mothership each, and then you would have to.
I've actually. Is it weird that I've had the exact same idea for a game?
Basically you would build cards, but there would be different.
You just completely glitched out for me, and I have no idea what you just said.
Yes, same here. All I had was dick chick.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if it's because I think I'm hosting the call, so I think it's going through me, but I don't know if it's just because I'm streaming and calling, but whatever. Just
so basically it was this space game where you would have your own mothership each. Aim of the game is to destroy the other mothership with a fleet of ships and cruisers and battle frigates and stuff like that. God knows how, I only got about half an hour into thinking about that game, and then I kind of gave up straight away.
That's some devotion right there to the game idea.
And then
Well,
the
hey,
second,
to be perfectly honest, I can actually show you in one image the most that I thought about this.
better than what I've
There's a
come up
little
with.
alien guy.
Looks like he's having a big whacking turd or something. I'm like,
And then the ship is like a box. I don't know what I was thinking.
and the second game was basically something which was more like an Age of Empires theme type thing.
Yo, Age of Empires was my game back in the day.
I don't think I've ever played it. I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever played it though.
I mean, I say I played it. I just played it for the cheats and got the guy that could shoot missiles and shot him.
Yeah, so yeah, that's my story on that anyway. So
Ooh, wait, this is a really interesting question that was just asked. Have you ever tried to make a game that involves moving cards?
Actually, that's a good shout.
That I used to when I was younger. I said this earlier, but I think this was back when we were on private. I used to make board games when I was younger, like all the time, and a lot of them did have sort of card elements to them that sort of could come, because I couldn't make pieces. I didn't make very good board game pieces, but I used cards a lot of times to sort of be board game pieces, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. Nothing I ever say makes sense, but
I think in cards you can move cards, but literally just side to side, because you can make them move across terrains.
Yeah, I saw that in one of your cards.
Not being able to attack.
It said if a card moved, you can make an attack or something like that. I think it's rejuvenate.
Where you've got your terrains going across. Say you've got a red unit on a white terrain. It doesn't gain its attack boost or whatever off the terrain. But you could move that unit across to like a terrain what matches its color, so it would gain the boost, but at the cost of not being able to attack that turn. There are cards in GB Part 2 as well, which like rickety bridges and stuff like that. And
I like the name of that.
and basically, if a unit gets onto that terrain and moves onto it, it can still attack that turn. There's campfires, which say if a unit ever moves onto, or you play a unit onto that terrain, you can draw a card and stuff like that. So you can actually move units across. With certain like I wouldn't say restrictions, but like a penalty for doing such. But that's as far as moving any cards goes. It's not like what you said.
Asurakuma's like, I gotta make a game quick before my idea gets stolen. All right, it's already stolen. You're too late. I already took it. It's right here.
There's actually
he's going to steal all our ideas. What we've just.
There's actually a story behind why I know he said that as well. So shout out to you, Asurakuma. You hit me up with that DM. I know. You told me about your Legacy of Darkness game. Don't think I forgot about that.
Well, somebody's getting yelled at.
But yeah, just Asurakuma was one who actually inspired me to try and make a card game. This is another card game that I tried to make that was like all about moving, and it was a board. So you'd have like your you'd have like a summoner there on the field, and then he'd move around. He'll summon like your units to the field, and you'd have to like get to the leader and kill him off and stuff like that. But I never went anywhere with it. So
okay, and this is another question that I kept note of, and I don't want to lose it because it's getting pretty far up there now. TCG Art and other random things said, will you guys be teaming up together to work on anything?
Oof.
That would depend. It would depend on like what it would be, because I don't really know if there's not really much to collaborate with and sort of in this community, because it's sort of like you have your own game, and I mean
everyone's always out for themselves, really.
Yeah,
not in a harsh way, but everyone's pretty much is there for themselves.
If he means like make a game together, I don't really know if we'd have maybe once, production of our games sort of dulls down a little bit where we're not, because right now, well, I don't want to say I'm working on Quest all the time because that would be a lie, but any moment that I get where I have, because right now I'm kind of stuck working on the starter decks right now, I mean, I could work on set 2, but I'm lazy. I'm waiting for the castles for the starter deck, so that's why I'm really not at work right now. But for the most part, when I go to work on quest, I will work on probably 5 cards a day usually. When I go on a huge I'm gonna get this done. Especially I did that a lot when I was getting close to finishing set 1. Like I went on I think 3 days in a row. I just did 5 cards a day until I finished.
Yeah.
Never do that. It's bad. It's not fun. It's not as fun as it sounds like it would be.
I also think as well when it comes to people trying to collaborate within the TCG community to try and make one big game. Personally, I think there's too many different art styles for enough people to do it. Like if it was just you and one other person, then it wouldn't be a problem. But you've got
you can also take into account that if you look at even games like Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh, they have many different artists. So so you see a lot of different art styles in those games, especially if you look at Magic from back in the day and Magic now. Jeez.
What I mean, though, really is obviously because I use pencils and fine liners.
That I get, yeah.
Yeah, in Resolution Breakers, it's all markers, marker pens, and the like. Keith uses mixed media. Do you know?
Yo, that's amazing what he uses.
It's insane.
There's just, I think there's loads of.
He just left too, so he's not even here for all of the praise. He left just as we started praising him.
Well, for you to find a team of people who have got pretty much the same, because if you had a game and it had all different types of art styles, it would be a bit weird.
But I mean, I guess maybe if you're trying to go from a certain theme, so if you used to do a medieval game, all based on medieval stuff, and all of you had a different art style, and you were trying to make a medieval game, that wouldn't really work. If you had a massive different style of theme, I guess it could kind of work.
Walking down the hall.
Hello. Hey, come and do the dishes.
I mean, I heard something.
Anywho's.
Anyway.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, yeah, it'd be cool to collaborate on something. I mean, I guess we already are now. We're kind of
hey, this podcast is a collaboration. That question was actually asked by Keith, and he's now gone, so he didn't even get to hear the answer to it. So, why did we even bother answering it?
He'll watch this again.
Yeah, he'll watch the recording of it. Let's see what other questions we got.
I got a question for both of you. It's because both of you are already you've got a medieval theme to your game.
Yeah.
Along with whereas Quest has got a little bit of a cyborg-esque to it. It's got a little bit of a spiritual side to it.
Quest. I try to go with Quest, even though it's medieval. I like to think that anything is possible. It's one of those worlds where I like to think that you can go from having like I said earlier on in the stream, you can go from having cyborgs to ghosts to anthropomorphized animals with cannons, but you get all of these different things, and the world that I try to build with Quest lets them all fit in very nicely. All of these different things can fit into this one world. Because that's the way I like to do it. At least that's the way
that's what I was gonna pretty much ask. Seeing as though you had a theme now, later on in your game, do you feel like you'll change the theme up? So say for mostly towards you, Chris, would you go from medieval to more of a futuristic style towards Wrathofcores? And I guess the same to you, Josh. Would you change up your theme a little bit more?
My next set is not going to be quite so medieval. I have thought about going into something technological, but technically speaking, in the game, it would kind of make I wanted to try and make the game a little bit realistic, as in a fantasy type world where obviously where the dice rolls, it's it's random it's almost random generation where units can hit and miss and stuff like that. And I have thought about going like into the future kind of thing with cores, but I kind of just thought to myself it might be a bit too far for cores. However, the next main set, I might probably won't. I don't think I'm going to be keeping it in the medieval-esque area, but I am thinking of trying to keep it not so technologically advanced, and still again in a fantasy type world. I don't want to give away too much because
Spoilers.
yeah, I have actually thought once about having because if you notice, GVE stands for good versus evil, and in the second main set, I want to try and still keep a versus something versus something. And at first, I wanted to try and I was thinking about maybe going into like samurais and stuff, but I didn't want to look like I was poaching off resolution breakers.
It's all blessed. Don't worry about it.
Hey, stealing samurais is poaching off of resolution breakers. I did that a while ago. Haven't you seen? Haven't you seen? I one of the specters is based off a samurai. That's where I'm going with that.
So I have got a theme in my deck. What I don't believe any other TCG creator has currently reached out to, and you know, the unit types in particular. Do you know, like you've got samurais, you've got medieval, you've got
generic stuff.
Ghosts. I believe I can't say I've seen any in this era of the TCG community. I can't say I've seen any from that set, from that like area what I'm trying to bring them from. And the best thing is,
any hints?
Come on, man. You don't just say that and not give out hints. That's not how this works.
That's like the biggest bombshell you could throw out there.
I don't want to take a highlight from GV Part 2. What's just come out? Where is it? I can't find the artwork. I've already done a couple of
Pirates. How weird is like pirates?
Well, Pirates actually did cross my mind, but then, funnily enough, bloody Magic the Gathering has got a current thing for pirates, and
really?
I don't want it to look the latest set is in Ixalan, which is pirates and dinosaurs.
Pirates and dinosaurs. those fit together so well. I can imagine Blackbeard riding a Tyrannosaurus.
That would be cool, though. I'm not gonna lie, that would be so cool. Just see Blackbeard on top of a massive Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I do have.
I'm gonna make that into a card for Quest now. Just watch.
If any of you know about Cardfight Vanguard, that's a trading card game. That's like they have a whole entire deck based, a whole entire clan, whatever you want to call it, all based around pirates. So like,
I liked Vanguard mostly for the show. The game is fun. I just like. I didn't really have anyone to play it with because Vanguard's one of those games where you don't there's not really that many people that play it. Doesn't have a big player base. But as for my answer to the question, since silence, I'll take over. As for changing the theme for Quest, Quest kind of has a really large, all-encompassing theme where the entire. Oh, let me full screen that real quick. Just put that back over there.
Spoilers.
All right. So, Quest has this.
I haven't seen that one before. I've seen the other one.
I haven't seen it before either. But
it's sneaky.
But Quest has this sort of all-encompassing theme that's sort of just about adventure. That's it's Quest. It's not necessarily just medieval. The whole thing is it's stories of adventure, and that's kind of the whole theme that I go with for it. Yes, it's got castles, yes, and that's kind of because when you think of quests, you think of sort of Middle Ages, that kind of scenario. But it's an insect there. But it's the whole theme of it is adventure, and I think that's a pretty all-encompassing theme. So I don't know if I'm ever going to really need to change the theme to sort of implement anything that I really want. I think I've given myself a lot of free room there, free reign to sort of do whatever I want with it.
Yeah. Look, you've got like your cyborgs and stuff like that, and you've kind of like, announced that as well. you can have like any technological advancement in your game as such, and for a fact you don't really care what anyone would say about it, because obviously if you had a medieval versus you know, you had a crew of medieval soldiers versus, I don't know,
an archetype that I'm planning that actually I've had. This is one of the currently the most useless card in the entire game. Because it's the only card of its archetype so far. This is one of the first cards I ever designed for the game, and so this just goes to show you that even from the beginning I was planning like technological sort of things. It's called Pixel Knight.
Oh wow, that actually looks kind of cool.
It's completely useless though. It's only got 400 damage and 300 health, and its ability that states that you can play a pixel castle, but there aren't any. The whole thing is that Pixel Knight is the base form, and you're supposed to, you can replace him with the upgraded versions. So it's like Pixel Knight, Pixel Trojan. There were some other ones, but I don't remember.
That could be your mascot deck of the game, really. Just have Pixel Knight there on the front.
I've also realized that in this game called Quest, it's about medieval, warfare, sort of, kind of. I don't have a single, not one, just standard run-of-the-mill knight at all.
You got Pixel Knight.
The closest thing I have is either Pixel Knight or Atlas, and Atlas is literally a Greek. He's a Titan. I'm pretty sure he's not a god. I think he's a Titan. But yeah, I don't have a single knight in the entire game.
Maybe that's a fault. It's a shout. Make some knights.
I just feel like if I did a sorted knight, because Quest is like sort of out there. It's not like a your bog standard kind of game. It's got a lot of really wacky characters, and that's one of the things that I like doing with it.
I'm pretty sure you've got like a lion card as one of your cards as well.
We have. Here's one of the. Just Quest is the. Let me just get an assorted, just random out of this deck of cards I have here. Just random cards, and these are actually some that you haven't seen before, I don't think. There was another one I saw. Look at these different cards that I have here. These all can exist in the same sort of world. You've got Spectral Puppy, who's literally a dead puppy. Oceanus, that doesn't really show up very well. And anthropomorphized lion guy. It's like,
and then you just see Pixel Knight come along.
And then you see Pixel Knight, and it's like, why? Get rid of it, please. Kill it with fire. I feel like Pixel Knight is probably the card that. Yeah, Atlas ain't no god. He a dude that lifts the earth. But I feel like Pixel Knight
kind of crashed on me.
I feel like
same here.
I feel like Pixel Knight.
Are we still going?
Yeah. Yeah, we're still going. Oh, would you look at that? I don't know if we stream or just film this part. What the heck what the heck's with the Sonic?
I swear I just heard someone say Karibo.
Alright, so I want to apologize for the, brief interruption there. I was overdue for an internet crash anytime now. I want to thank everybody who came out to check out the podcast today. It was awesome to have you. And it was awesome to have these two guys here at the podcast with me. It's nice. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll probably be doing another podcast next week, and hopefully we will not have as many technical difficulties. Woo! Here's hoping. Here's hoping.
It's the first one ever. Personally, I think it's done really well.
Yeah, we're going to have to get all of our technical difficulties out this time so that it never happens again.
Yeah, it's just first step. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, it's been good.
All right, well, we're going to have to end the stream here. It's been awesome. We've talked about a lot of cool topics, and I hope anybody watching this, if you were here live or otherwise, got something out of it, you know, I think that's good. So do you guys want to say, you know, sign us off here?
I mean, just like, if you was watching, just if you have any suggestions for people you might want to see, like,
Oh yeah,
come on
definitely.
this again, if we do this again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening to us.
I definitely want you guys to go check in the description down below and go check these guys out on their channels, and their Game Crafter links are also down there too. So if you want to go buy their amazing games, definitely go do that. My game is also down there if maybe you're feeling like you want to buy some Quest. Who knows? Yeah, that's really about all I got to say for this. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.